presenters in Egypt?
So on Instagram, you can reach me on at Queen Blessing A, and on the official page is official Miss Intercontinental.
All right.
NG.
Okay.
Yes, the official page for the competition is Miss Intercontinental Official, where polls will be set on and then voting will commence, but that's during the event.
All right.
Yeah. So on Facebook, Blessing Augustine. On Twitter, it's Blessing Augustine.
All right. Even if Twitter is still pending right now.
Right now.
Yeah, some people are saying we shouldn't tweet, but don't worry. Very soon, I think the president gave that remark October 1st, where he said probably it might come soon. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and hope and look towards it. All right. Thank you so much. Now, by the way, Blessing shares the name with my younger sister. And, you know, this coincidence has been too much. All right. Thank you so much for coming through. Shout out to the organizers. And, you know, I think this is your manager.
Yes.
All right. She's looking beautiful, but like I'm trapped in between right now. But it's good. It's all good. Okay.
It runs in your organization.
I'm telling you. Okay. Thank you so much. We're looking forward to hearing from you next time. Hopefully, when you please bring the crown. Please.
That's the
Don't
plan.
form our hand. Don't do that to us.
We're
okay?
coming back with
You're
Nigeria.
repping PH City. You're repping Nigeria. You're repping West Africa. Go well and make us proud. Okay.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. All right, it's time for me to go. You can follow me on socials, Dave Melford Roberts. On Instagram, it's Dave_Melford_Roberts. And on Facebook, it's David Melford Roberts. Have yourself a wonderful evening. Coming up right now is Era Talk.
Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
What is happening in your community? Does your community feel government presence? Do you think your community's voice isn't heard by anyone that matters?
Join us on Area Talk, the platform that zones in on happenings in, out, and around your local communities. We focus on the problem and take eyewitness accounts to help us get a better picture on any issue. Every Tuesdays to Thursdays by 7 p.m. on Today's Connect, only on Today 95.1 FM.
I fit with you anywhere you day, brother man, you day.
95.1 FM, voice of the people.
And we're back.
And thanks for staying with us. The program is Area Talk on Today 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. My name is Buchi Rafua. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a pleasure to see another beautiful day. Before I move on, let me share my experience with you. So over the weekend, I don't know what's been happening, but I just have been down, sort of. But then there were lots of things to do as at the weekend, events to go to, people to see, and all of that. And one of all of that, my movements took me to Auda East. Not particularly for area talk, but for other personal issues. And then something happened. So the activity we went there for lingered for a while. And we left Auda East pretty late, sometime around 8 or so. And I was like, okay, we're early enough. It's Auda East, as high as 40 minutes, we'll be in Port Harcourt and all of that. Now, I forgot that it feels like the weather, we have longer nights and shorter days. I don't understand the weather, but it's something like that. Something in that manner. That's how it is. So, on our way back to Port Harcourt, all the prayers I haven't prayed before, I prayed everything that night. Because if you had seen me and the driver inside the car, we were just like, on our way to Auda, I was relaxed because it was the same driver that took me there that brought me back. I was Auda, okay, on my way to and fro to Auda. Sorry, I've been calling it Auda. Man, going there, it was cool, it was relaxing, and coming back, it was something else. Everywhere was dark. East-West Road was, I don't know how to explain it, but it was dark, it was scary. All the stories I heard of East-West Road, everything started coming back to my mind, and I was creeped out. Like, if you had seen me, I was just seated up straight, upright. I prayed all my life prayer. Do you know the funny part was, at the end of the journey, as soon as we got to that bridge, at that checkpoint from in between Emo and Choba, the driver was like, hey, you know, say now you give me mind drive this driving. I can promise you that this driver was way scared than I was that night. And thank God he didn't show, because if he had shown me that he was scared, I then would fidget and it would be something else. It could have been worse than it was. But you see, that's the tension. I'm sharing this story because I hear people talking about flying that route long before now, and the scary stories. And the driver told me of his experience, and he said something that hopefully one time we'll get to talk about. He said that he's been kidnapped along that road. He doesn't have anything. He's nobody. He knows nobody. He has nothing. But he was kidnapped and they paid certain amount of money. And then he made a statement. He said, thank God for this bunkering thing. No, that's what is keeping them inside the bush. If not, they would come out. And I was like, how would you thank God for bunkering? And after he said a lot, I was okay. It might make a little bit of sense what he's saying. But I guess the chunk of the work and the blame would go to the government and security agency, because two wrongs can never make a right. Kidnapping, bunkering, they are two wrongs, and they would never make anything right, even if some persons feel that's what's keeping these people in there within the bush. But I'll just share my, my experience. This is beyond eyewitness reports. This is my personal experience. Oh, at a point, there's this bad spot where cars have to, take one way. And at that spot, we saw just one security officer. He was holding a gun. He was the only person there. There were no cars around. Jesus Christ. And the driver started slowing. I said, are you not seeing? Just one person standing there as a police officer with a gun, wielding a gun, and there was absolutely no police van around. There was nobody around, and he was stopping you and you want to stop. Are you okay? It was scary that night. But I just, when I got home, I did Thanksgiving service on my own. And then, not because I was expecting something bad to happen, but when you hear a lot of nasty stories and then you're in a certain position at certain point in time, it was really dark. Please, whatever can be done for them to fix street lights along this east-west road should be done, at least within River State. At least. I was scared. But I can't imagine what others feel, as back then when it was really hotter than... it's actually cold now. There's no problem. Don't mind me. I've not really heard issues of insecurity like it used to be before on that road. But being there at that point in time just brought back a lot of news and stories in my head. And that got me scared. But I thank God we have what we have right now. I thank God for security. I thank God for... It's like another Thanksgiving service here. I am just grateful. And, I feel that we should all, mind how we move at night. I'm talking to myself and to many other persons as well. But it was quite an experience. How are you doing? For those within Emoa, for those within Aoda East, Aoda West, for those at Bayahusa, for those at Akwa Ibom, Cross River, within River State, Imo State, Aba, how are you doing? What's happening? How did your weekend go? What did you experience? What's going on? What's been happening? That's what the program Area Talk is about. And as last week, I told you something. I told you Area Talk has been extended to 2 hours. So we have enough time to chit-chat, to talk about everything going on. Wherever it is you are, we have enough time to, take your eyewitness reports and share some of the issues or challenges you're going through. You can share that with us on Area Talk. That's why we are here. But before we put up the phone lines to hear from you, I'd love to just quickly share with you some of the complaints we've gotten on the program. We've gotten a lot of complaints about schools, and it's been alleged that most schools within River State are collecting certain amounts of money when we're expected to have free public school education here in River State, from almost all local governments within River State. We've gotten such complaints, not all, but majority of the local governments. We've also had complaints of flooding in different communities. We'll be looking into all of these issues soon. We've also gotten complaints on security issues in some places. And over the weekend, there was a fire outbreak somewhere around Ajib, and it was really sad that a woman lost her life. Unfortunately, there are houses somewhere around where they have this transformers, and I'm not even going to look at the issue of building your house or building houses under high tension, but I want to be a bit particular about fire service in River State, and I do not know why nothing is being said about it. There's been lots of fire outbreak within the state up till now. You haven't seen I'm not saying you should declare state of emergency. I'm saying that we should see a move by the government or by institutions, government institutions, making certain moves to, equip fire service and sort of put in more effort so they can be more active than what they are currently. It's appalling that in a place like River State, when there's a fire outbreak, the people have to wait for hours before the fire service arrives and do whatever it is they want to do after the fire is done, swallowing all it's swallowed. It's really unfortunate. But like I said, we'll be having a conversation on all of this sometime in the future. But for today, we're going to pay a little bit of attention to the issue of free education in River State. It's not something that started today. It's something that started during the previous administration. Now, the former governor, Rotimi Amechi, he declared a state of emergency in the educational sector when he assumed office in 2007, if you remember. It all started when the former governor, Chibike Rotimi Amechi, officially launched a free and compulsory education for every child in the state. Now, the then River State government flagged off its 2013 free education project, which took place at the Dr. Christy Tobey Model Primary School, Elekahia, Liberation Stadium in Port Harcourt. It came with the distribution of free books, uniforms, bags, sandals, and sportswears to students and pupils in the state. I wasn't here as at then, but I heard stories and I still am hearing stories. And lots of persons benefited from all of this. But outside the free uniform, free bag, sandals, sportswear, and the rest of it, we're just looking at the issue of free education. Now, in 2014, when the former governor stated that the reduction of the federal allocation from 20 billion naira to 13 billion, which affected River State's developmental project, will not hinder his passion for progress in the state. That was 2014 under Goodluck Jonathan's administration. So, former governor Amechi, who insisted that he was not going to collect school fees from students despite the state of financial challenge, he then went on to source out funds to feed the students, and he, however, charged teachers in the state as at then to justify the huge sum of money expended on them, being pumped into the educational sector, encouraged them to justify it by, putting in much work. Now, I'm just trying to paint a picture of what it was like back then. In 2015, transition and Governor Nyesom Wike took over. Now, in a bid to increase access to quality education, the present administration, led by Governor Nyesom Wike, in 2019, they announced a total abolition of all forms of fees and levies in public primary and secondary schools across the state. All forms. Now, during a meeting with the heads of primary and secondary schools, River State Senior Secondary School Board and State Universal Basic Education Board at the Government House in Port Harcourt, that was when he made the statement. He directed state-owned primary and secondary schools to stop collecting fees and levies from students and pupils with immediate effect as at then in 2019. He then said that henceforth, state government will be sending direct allocations to all primary and secondary school management for their operations. He said, from today, I'm quoting his words now, from today henceforth, no child, either in primary and secondary school, should pay fees and levies in any school across the state. The monies you collect from these children are just used for your personal purposes. If I hear that any school head collects any fee or levy, be the examination, NECO, WAEC fee, that school head would be sanctioned. We shall not only dismiss the school head who collects fees or levies, we will persecute the person involved. These are the words of Governor Nyesom Wike. He went on to say, government will work out grants that will be sent to the schools for their regular management and operation. Government would work out grants and send to the schools. Not school will generate it and generate it from the children or their parents and used to work on the school. He said, I have abolished all fees and levies, and it will never happen again in our public primary and secondary schools. Nobody should collect fees and levies from the children of the less privileged. Those are the words of Governor Nyesom Wike. In case you've forgotten, I thought I should remind you of it. Now, sometime last year, that was 2020, early last year, the Commissioner for Education, he talked about the governor, that's Governor Nyesom Wike, and all he's done about education. I would share with you word for word what he said, according to the Vanguard. And I would love us to pay a bit more attention to the free education. But I'd love to do a breakdown of what this administration has been able to achieve, at least as reported by 2020. Now, he said Governor Nyesom Wike, former Minister of State for Education, came into office as River State Governor with a clear vision on the education sector. At his first inauguration in 29th May 2015, he declared that he seeks to provide accessible, quality, and affordable education for all in the state. Nearly 5 years on the seat, he is walking his talk in this press briefing, according to the Commissioner for Education then. He said that we provide you, he gave snippets rather of some of the strides the governor has taken. And he said within 100 days in office, he completed and furnished the Faculty of Law of the River State University, which had been abandoned by successive governments since the 1990s. He made mention of a lot. The medical school in River State University, which has been without medical school since the university was established in 1980. They got a befitting building and was speedily completed and commissioned by the governor. He talked about a lot, and he also pointed out the annual Rivers results and placements in WAEC show the extent of the success recorded by Governor Nyesom Wike and many others. But I'm trying to get to the part. Okay, the River State government also noted that Governor Nyesom Wike has demonstrated his love for education by sponsoring free JAM for 2019-2020 registration for candidates of River State origin and free WAEC 2020 registration for all candidates in public schools in the states, notwithstanding where they come from. And then at the basic and secondary school level, his words, the giant strides of Governor Nyesom Wike are clearly manifest. The reconstruction and furnishing of primary and junior secondary schools in the state under the auspices of the State Universal Basic Education Board. And he went on to list and list. I'm trying to get to the part where he talked about the free education, and it doesn't seem to be popping up. Well, I'll just love to step on the brake pad there and let's talk about the free education. Now, you've listened to the process of free education from under Amechi's administration to Governor Nyesom Wike's administration. But currently, like I'd always say, it's taking a different toll. Now, we've gotten several reports that principals of schools are collecting money from these children. We've gotten them on Area Talk. We've heard them. You've heard of it. I've seen people talk about it. I've seen people lament about this situation. But it seems like all they can do is just talk and talk and talk and complain, and nothing is being done. Sometime last week, I shared with you a statement that was released by the Commissioner of Education in the state. Let me see if I can get that up again, where he talked about sanctioning whoever that's for public schools. The Commissioner for Education of River State, Professor Kaniye Beku, where he warned heads of public schools and staff against the collection of illegal fees, reminding them that the state governor's ban on collection of school charges or fees for whatever purpose is still in force. And for emphasis, no principal or staff is authorized to collect charges for the making of school uniforms or for admission or any other purpose. Reiterating the same thing. But it feels like it's more of talk and talk and talk, and certain actions are not being taken to prosecute those involved in all of this. On Area Talk today, or previously, we've had people call in to complain. And today on the program, we have a parent that would share all he's been through in the hands of public schools here in River State. that is expected to provide free education. But before we get to our parents here in the studio, we'll also be talking with the child, and probably he will tell us about what is going on in the school and how they ask them to bring certain amounts of money. But before we do that, we'll be speaking with a professor. Maybe most of us do not even understand what free education is about. Maybe we do not. Maybe there's a different kind of free education, and maybe that's what some of the principals are practicing, or the actual free education, tuition free, no collection of money for school uniform or exam or whatsoever. Maybe we are missing it somewhere. So we will be speaking with Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Kalu. She's the head of Department Educational Foundation in the University of Port Harcourt. Good evening to you, ma'am, and thank you so much for being here. Hello? Hello, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you so much for being here. So, like I said, I'm sure you already heard what we talked about. That's regards free education. Like I said, maybe we do not understand exactly what free education means. If you could help explain to us what exactly is free education.
Don't you give your own number? You are calling.
Oh dear. Okay, I guess it's actually the wrong number. Okay, we'll try reconnecting to the professor shortly. But while we do that, we will be speaking with the parents. Please bear with us, because would really love to understand what this free education thing is all about, if we're missing it somewhere. But I was reliably informed that before we get back to the professor, hopefully we get through to her. I was informed that how it works is that sometime last year, I believe, the River State government, sometime within August last year, disbursed funds to the school board, because they are the ones that raise standing order for schools to get their funds for the daily running of their activities, that's school activities. And that's how it works. Now, some persons are saying that since it was done August last year, probably something, it's not been, there's always a process to go through to get this money to the schools, right? And some persons are saying probably they're still in the process, and that's why some of the schools do not have enough money for their day-to-day activity, and maybe that's why they are collecting money from the children, that's from their parents, to, fund the day-to-day running of the school. But is that what the River State government said? I tried reaching out to some school principal. I wasn't surprised that they would not speak, because they are public servants, they are civil servants, and their job would be at stake if they speak with us. That's unfortunate, because if the River State government is saying one thing and we're seeing a different thing happen, who is faulty? Who are we supposed to hold? The River State government is saying, we have said this, and we're trying to put things in place so this would work. I don't know exactly what is being put in place, because we're not seeing any fruitful or any tangible results from all they've been saying. All we get to see are statements upon statements. I spoke with the parents today, who unfortunately is really is down, but I'm sure you're listening, and I hope you're feeling better right now. And he talked about the fact that their children he bought uniform, like they made uniform, the public school uniform, outside the school. But the school rejected that uniform and said the child has to buy compulsorily from the school themselves. I reached out to the commission, and they said all of that are just extortion. It shouldn't be. So who is not doing their job? Where are we getting it wrong? And what's happening? Like I said, I have a parent with me in the studio. And for the sake of the child's safety in school, we will not exactly be saying his name. I will just call him Mr. Ben. Let me call him Mr. Ben. It's good to have you on Area Talk, and it's good to meet you.
Thank you, Buchi.
It's a pleasure to, have you here. I've been talking with you on the phone, but seeing you physically, it's actually beautiful. Thank you for coming.
You're welcome, Buchi. Thank you.
All right, then. Before I speak with you, would you want to talk, or you want us to talk with your son first before you go ahead to explain what the burden has been like on you? First off, how many children do you have in public school?
I have 4.
4 of them?
Yes.
What classes?
My first son just wrote WAEC.
Okay.
My third daughter is entering SS3.
Okay.
Then my fourth daughter is entering SS1. Then my second son is entering JS1.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So they all seem to be in the high secondary school now.
Yes.
They've gone beyond the primary school.
Yes.
Did they like attend the public primary school, or there was a different school?
The nursery school is public. Primary nursery primary is private. Then.
Okay, they all moved to a public school when they got to the secondary level.
Yes.
So how has it been so far?
Buchi, it has been tough for we parents that are struggling to make our children go to school, even if we don't have. But the one that bothers me is when they call me, my son called me that they are taking 5,000 for ID card, those that want to write WAEC, the people that just finished writing their WAEC.
Mm-hmm.
I said, how? He said that is what they say they should pay. I called in for that. And the one that is entering SS3, they say they should come for Cap 1 and Cap 2, and they pay 2,000, which I also told you about it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the one that wrote WAEC, junior WAEC last year, that's the one that is entering SS1, they say she should pay 5,000 for registration.
Mm.
Then the one that is entering JS1, they say he should pay 3,000 for registration. I don't know where all this money are going to.
All right, that being said, let me speak with you personally so they can understand where you're coming from. When the governor of River State said those that do not have enough, they shouldn't be extorted, not in his words, I'm paraphrasing now. Let them understand you as an individual, as a parent. What do you do?
My job?
Yes,
I'm a laundry person.
You're a laundry person,
yes.
So it's like your personal job.
Yes, that's my personal job.
So what's like your turnover for a month? How much do you make a month?
I have my own work that I do, but I work with another company, which is laundering company. But on my own side, I don't think
I'm not saying you should give us the exact amount, so just a rough estimate, so we understand what your finances are like, and we understand why you had to move your children from a private school to public school when they get to secondary school level, and we can also see why you feel how you're feeling, knowing fully well. I'm sure when the River State government talked about in 2019 that it's going to be free education for primary and secondary, how did you feel as that then?
It was a relief. I feel relieved that time. But seeing what is happening now, I'm surprised on what is happening. And I spoke with the essay to the commissioner of education.
Mm-hmm.
She put me on with the principal of my school in Obobun community.
I sent her your number.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we spoke, and later I called her and I say he should send the money to either the Ochoha of my community or the CDC chairman of my community or the secretary of the CDC of my community, so that I will not be involved, because I don't want to be involved.
I think we're getting people mixed up a little bit. So let's leave that part for now.
Okay.
Let's talk about you as a parent and what your struggles are like financially, and why you feel so bad that such amounts of money is being asked, and you have about 4 children in that same public school.
My income is really low. I will put it this way: in a day I don't make $2. That's how I put it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And $1, let's roughly estimate it. Let's say roughly 500 naira.
Yeah.
So in a day, you do not make up to 1,000 naira. That's basically what you're saying.
Yes.
And then if that's the case, if we want to roughly estimate it in a month, you make about 25,000 naira.
25,000, yes, 25,000 naira.
That's for a month.
That's for a month.
And you live in your own house or you pay house rent?
Yeah, I pay house rent here. Though my people are not here with me. They are at home, yes.
Okay. So you pay house rent here, and your people, you also pay house rent for them over there?
No.
Okay.
They are in my family house.
Okay, you are the only one that pay house rent here. What's the rent like for you?
The what?
The rent fee.
The rent fee?
Yes.
Yes.
In a year, what's it like?
120.
120 in a year.
Yeah.
And then you make about 25,000 naira in a month. Interesting. And then from that same money, you buy things for your children for school.
Yeah.
Do you purchase the uniform? Is it compulsory to purchase uniform from school?
No,
or
that one they don't make it compulsory. I don't even think if they sell uniform there, you buy from
in that
outside.
Particular school, so you can buy outside.
Yeah, you can buy outside.
But you have to purchase books.
Yes. Not from them.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
Outside.
Books, sandal, bags, any other thing. They don't provide anything for them.
And yet they still ask that amount of money.
Yes.
So in a month, how much do you spend on just Daddy, they said I should bring money for this. Daddy, they said I should bring money for this. In a month, how much do you spend? Roughly estimated. Now, we've roughly estimated your salary as around 25,000 naira. That's what you take home in a month. And then I'm sure you bring out feeding money from that. I'm also sure you bring out transportation money from that. And you also, save a little bit for your house rent.
Yeah.
From that same 25,000 naira in a month. Now, let's now look at what you spend for your children in school. Roughly estimated, how much do you think from the pencil, biro, school books, and then in addition, bring money for... Do they ask for desk in the school? Do they contribute money for desk?
My second son, he has not started, but the people that have started, maybe they told him that they should pay for desk for their table, and I want to tell the principal that he is not the one that worked the table. The desk in that school, I'm sure, was worked by tutor.
But the principal is asking the
them.
children.
I'm not too sure of that, but that was what he told
your son.
Yeah, that was what my son told the mother. The mother have to tell me.
Okay.
So I'm not too sure of this one.
You haven't confirmed it.
Yes, I've not confirmed it.
Okay.
Yes. So that's just it.
So now let's get what you roughly spend in a month just on your children going to school, whether it's for crafts, whether it's for hoe, whether it's for cutlasses, whether it's for desk. Roughly estimated.
Sometimes part term. Not because as they are starting now, the whole thing that they will need, they will ask of it.
Yeah, for the term.
But for this one now, they say the one that is entering GS1, 3,000, 5,000, that's 8,000. They have not started. Then the books and other ones, I will spend no less than 30 to 35,000
for a term.
For a term. That's I'm putting everything together. They may tell
That's
them
about
to bring,
3 months now.
Yes. They will say maybe for what is it called? For labor, they pay for labor. For this, they will pay. I'm just putting everything together. So roughly 35,000.
35,000. And it could be more in some months, right?
Yes, it could be more
in some months.
Yeah.
Now, coupled with the fact that some of them are writing exam now, it's even worse.
It's even worse.
And okay, you spend a term, it's like 3 months.
Yeah.
30 to 35, let's just say 35,000 naira.
Yeah.
And roughly you get 25,000 naira. Outside all of the expenses, you still try to get 30,000 naira for school. How does that make you feel?
Bad. It's very bad. That was why I was calling. This thing that I'm saying here, I'm not saying it for the principal to feel bad or for them to sack this principal, but the principal should return those money. And the information that I gathered, they say my community leaders have already talked about it, and they have set up a committee that will go for it.
That will go to the principal?
Yeah, that will go to the principal.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to tell them that they should go on. I will join them, and I will provide any information that they want, and I will get it and bring it back to you too. That's what I want to do. But I want, all the things that I want to say is that the principal should return those money.
Okay, now we understand your angle and how you feel about the extortion, because that's what it is. If Governor Nyesom Wike is saying that do not collect any amount of money from people that cannot afford this much, because I'm sure if you can afford a private school, you won't put them in the public school.
I will not.
Obviously. And somehow, I heard that the public school, to some extent, they are trying with teaching the children, which is commendable. We should commend them when they are doing something right. But then, if the governor is saying do not collect this amount of money, do not collect money from the children for anything, who will sponsor the day-to-day running of the school, which is part of what they collect money from. And good enough, the school your children attend, they do not force them to buy uniform from the school. Because I was able to gather that some other public school, they force the children to purchase uniform from the school. While you're registering, you buy uniform from the school. If you have uniform from another place, you cannot use it in the school. You'll be chased away. So I heard, allegedly. Now, with all of this, if you get to hear now, because I've spoken with some persons, some principals of certain schools, and some of them will tell you that they do not have enough funds for the day-to-day running of the school. And collecting this 1,000 naira today, 500 naira tomorrow is what they use to run the school. Do you feel that is justifiable?
Which I would not say is justifiable, because the governor have already said that school is free. Now, if they are not giving you any interest for the day-to-day running of the school, you should speak up or you resign. Let people know that this is what is happening. The governor have said this and they are not doing it. Let people know about it. It's not for you to now bounce on the parents. And my people basically, they are farmers. They are farmers. So you can't tell. I call one of my elder brother at home. He said the same thing that they are, that is what they are saying. Her own daughter is also in that school. He said they are collecting that. The one that is even annoying me is the cap 1 and cap 2. That is for what? The registration is for what? So they should not bounce on the parents. They should go to the governor that say school is free. I will be giving you people impress. They should ask of that impress, or they resign, or they do protest. That is what I'm asking them to do.
If you were in their shoes, to be sincere, because you know how getting a job currently is like. If you were in their shoes, would you make this move you're asking them to make? Would you speak out, knowing fully well that your job is at stake and that is where you get your daily bread from? Would you speak out?
Richie, I will not work in where they are not paying me. I will not.
They pay them, that's their salary. But they cannot use their salary to start doing the day-to-day activities of the school.
And that's why you should resign, or you come up and talk. You just said it that there are some people that most of the principal, they don't want to call their name or explain. Yes. So you talk.
And then lose your job.
Which if somebody loses his or her job for good, it's fine. Yes. This is what I would do. I will go away from that job. I will not. To be sincere with you, I will not do that job. Because this is what is happening in our society. They don't give you something that you use to work and you want to do the work. How does that work? You will not be perfect in that job. If you go to any school in Rivers State here, or I'm talking about my own school, Honorable Ayako built a science lab for physics, chemistry, and is it agric? I don't think if they have equipped that school. So how do the children learn? And you people are saying that school is free.
So what if they reverse everything now and say, okay, public school is no longer free. You pay for this, you pay for that.
Let us know. They should let us know that from tomorrow or now that public school is not free again. Let us know.
And
it is better for us to know that this thing is not free, because I don't even believe that anything should be free, but it's not be collected the way they are collecting it. My second daughter is in university, RSU here. I know how it is, what is happening there. So it's not as if I don't know. So if now they say RSU is free all through and they are collecting money that they are collecting, I will be angry.
So you would rather that if it's not going to be free, let us know it's not free. So we know that this month, this is what we're going to spend.
Yes.
But not that you tell us that you're giving us free education, and then at the end of the month, we'll be paying like we're paying for a private school.
That is what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's even better to say, okay, the school is not free. Let us know. It is better like that than to say school is free and they are telling you, people are calling. I used to listen to your program every day. It's just because most times I don't have time. I will close from work late. I don't have time to listen. Even if I'm walking on the road, I will put my small phone and I'll be listening to it. Yes. Until I get to my house and I will sit down and listen. If you watch me, I call most time late. It's because of those tiredness, but I will listen. You will see most parents complaining about secondary school. And the governor is listening to it. The essay to the commissioner called me. Or is it that it's not the essay to the Commissioner of Education that called me? And I told him what to do. I can lead them to my place. I can just take excuse from my work and lead them to my place. They should ask questions. It's not something that they will just relax in their AC offices and be telling us school is free.
Well,
school is free.
Trust me, they're actually doing, and if it's the same person that you're talking about, I'm thinking that person has actually done a lot for certain persons, because I know how many complaints I have shared with that person and she tried resolving it. But well, thank you so much. I would love to say thank you very, very much for sharing all this with us. Generally, what would you say to parents that are going through the same challenge you're going through?
I would tell parents to let us just keep on struggling to make sure our children goes to school. That's their right. In anything that you do, just make sure that you send your children to school. Don't be discouraged by what is happening with our government. They will say another thing and maybe they are doing another thing. So they should go on all out to make sure they train their children in schools.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you here. Can we still talk with your son?
My daughter, let me
okay,
see.
Your daughter?
Yes, let me see if they...
All right. So let's see if we can reach out to his daughter and then we hear from her before we wrap up with this segment. But while we try to reach out to her, we need to go on a short break. We'll be right back. You're still on to Area Talk on Today 95.1 FM. Just stay with us.
Today's news in 60.
The Central Bank of Nigeria has restated its commitment to addressing the challenges affecting the country's wheat production and other value chain areas as part of efforts to boost local production to reduce dependence on importation. Figures obtained from the National Bureau of Statistics reveals that the value of manufactured goods imported into Nigeria exceeded exports by 4.37 trillion naira in the second quarter of 2021. Investors in the Nigeria Exchange Limited Equities Market recorded 521.46 billion naira gain in September, despite losses in 85 firms against 35 gainers. The Ministries of Health as well as Finance, Budget and National Planning are working together to upwardly review taxes on tobacco in a bid to make the product unaffordable. This comes as the federal government has warned the tobacco industry against the introduction of electronic smoking devices which are falsely claimed to be less harmful than conventional cigarettes. And on the foreign scene, Frances Hudin, a former Facebook whistleblower responsible for a series of bombshell leaks, has revealed her identity. She worked as a product manager on the Vivid Misinformation team at Facebook.
Today's news in 60.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
This is Today 95.1 FM.
For current news and information, press 5.
They are politicians, all of them. They know what they do.
So they know how they attack each other.
To stay connected all day, press 1.
The person who raised the alarm is the one who made the public know about
Good afternoon and welcome to the World News on your Premium Talk Radio station.
We are your Premium Talk Radio station. Today 95.1 FM, the station with a unique dial.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
And we're back.
It's good to have you back on the program. It's still Area Talk and we still have a lot of time to hear from you. So don't be scared. We'll definitely get your eyewitness report. That's the rejigged kind of Area Talk. 2 hours straight up just for you. And before we went on that short break, we were speaking with our guest, a parent in the studio, and we would love to call him Mr. Ben, even if that's not like his name, but we'll just call him Mr. Ben. And he's been talking with us about his experience. You heard what life is like for him financially, the kind of job he does, and how much he earns estimatedly in a month, and how much he spends. This is just for school. In a term, he spends about 30 to 35,000 naira, and sometimes even much more, in a state that ought to have free education. He has 4 children in school, all in secondary school, and he spends that much in money in a state like River State, a state governed by the one and only Governor Nyesom Wike of River State of Nigeria. Like, we cannot find another Governor Nyesom Wike in Nigeria, but he's the one in charge of River State. The same state, he said, he promised the people, for those attending state public schools, free education. He didn't promise to buy them school bag. He didn't promise to buy them school shoes. He didn't promise to buy them school books. He didn't promise to buy them school uniform, but he promised one thing. He promised tuition-free education in River State, exam fee-free education in River State. But contrary to what Governor Nyesom Wike has said, principals are collecting money from people, from parents, extorting them. The same people the governor is trying to protect are the same people that are being extorted by principals of some schools in River State. And it's very unfortunate. Well, we still have Mr. Ben here in the studio. Hopefully he'll be sharing some other eyewitness reports with us on the program. But I doubt we'll be able to speak with his son or his daughter for other reasons. So we'll just get straight up to other stories for today. All right, Olo Security Planning Advisory Committee in Obia local government area of River State, they've apprehended 7 tricycle riders for alleged theft and insecurity in the community. Now, the general commander of the security outfit, Wenenda Rubogo, he made this known in an interview with Today FM Sandra Kenneth, and he said that they were apprehended by 2 a.m. today on their way back from an operation. When enough round are the activities of tricyclists, popularly known as keke riders, stressing that they use their tricycle to commit all kinds of crime in that area. Take a listen.
and we searched them. We saw empty cartridge inside the vehicle, inside the keke. So we apprehended them, asking them where they got the cartridge from, They are unable to explain better. And we saw a knife, and razor blade, which they used to attack their victims. So many, they have been using keke to rob people several times. We have been getting information about robbery from keke drivers and criminals using keke to rob. That Olu houses, the junction houses is very, very, very bad at night. 10 o'clock, you cannot move freely there. But right now, since us park is in place in Olu, now we have bring peace to that place. Now you can walk freely there at night because our men is there always. We are really pleading to the people in our community to assist us with information.
The night is always pretty scary, though. I had my share of it on Saturday. But Umpolu at night, keke riders. Well, also speaking, a former youth leader of the community, Bobby Ezekiel, he passed the vote of confidence in the Umpolu Security Planning Advisory Committee for helping to tackle crime in that area. And today, from reports that NSPAC recovered some cartridges, generator, car batteries, and television from the 7 persons that were arrested. Can you imagine the kind of things they went to steal? Allegedly stole generator, car batteries, and television. I don't know what this would tell. It doesn't sound like hunger. It just, I don't know where to categorize it under, but it's really unfortunate, and a very good one from the Umpolu Security Planning Advisory Committee there. And I really hope that they put in more efforts to stop all this issue of collecting things from people. Meanwhile, some farmers, most of them are women from Oba Ebema, Ndoni local government area of the state. Today, they went on a protest to the council secretariat to register their displeasure over the activities of herders in the area. And the aggrieved farmers said that their farm produce are being destroyed by cows in the area. Now, the women, numbering about 30 from different communities in the local government, they want the government to urgently intervene to put a stop to the action of the herders. Don't forget that the River State government, Governor Nyesom Wike, on the 19th of August, he signed into the law a bill banning open grazing in the state. Yet, some persons are still moving around freely like nothing is happening in the state. All right, at this juncture, we'll put up the phone lines. Let's hear from you. Let's know what's happening. If you want to react to the issue of free education in River State, please, you can register your views on that. And, okay, we've been able to get through to Mrs. Kalu, Dr. Mrs. Kalu Ngozi. We weren't able to get through to her. Good evening to you, ma.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. We tried reaching out to you, but I don't know what happened. It seems like we got through to the wrong number, and we've been trying to reach out to you since then. It's not been going through. Thank you so much for reaching out. All right, so let me get straight up to our conversation so we can get back to the phone lines. Like I asked earlier, we have said the River State government has said that the people of River State. Can you hear me? Yeah, can you hear me? We have her back on the line. So without further ado, exactly what does it mean to say free education?
Talking
Hello,
about,
doctor, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Go ahead.
All right. When you say free education, you are just talking about an educational system in which students and pupils do not have to pay tuition fee for them to study.
Okay.
Yeah. In Nigeria, for example, we have the Universal Basic Education, which is a free compulsory education for all children of school age.
Mm-hmm.
up to, the junior secondary level, between the primary school and the junior secondary school level.
So it entails having tuition-free education and to some extent examination fee free, right?
Yeah.
Now, in a place like River State, I'm sure you're familiar with some of the challenges with the free education. Where do you think we're getting it wrong, or where do you think the problem lies? Because the government is saying we're supposed to we're giving free education to the people, and the parents are saying that principals of schools are collecting certain amounts of money from them in a state that is supposed to be having free education, and the principals are saying, well, we're collecting the money from the day-to-day running of the school. It means that probably the government is not providing the money or the funds they need for the day-to-day running of the school, activities of the school. But the government is not. They are not saying this to the faces of the government. And some are saying because they are scared, they're trying to secure their job. But if the government is actually the problem here, how do we tackle that issue? But if they are not, because I was told that a certain amount of money was disbursed sometime last year in August, and it's supposed to carry the school for a year. But this problem has started long before now, months back, before it completes a year. That's August, made it a year. So exactly what is the problem, and where does the problem lie, and how can we tackle it as well?
Well, I think when you talk about, I've never seen anywhere where anywhere you can get quality education, where education is free. Education is costly. That's the point. That's the truth. So if you want good education, there has to be proper funding, and that entails proper management, not just the funding, but proper management of the funds by the government and those in managing, the school administration. We basically have this challenge of corruption in the Nigerian system, right from the government to, the populace. There is, a general corruption system. It's well known. And then when you come to the schools, you see, a whole lot of things going wrong. The classrooms are overcrowded. That there's lack of maintenance of school facilities. Poor remuneration of teachers, I think, is part of the problem. So when teachers are poorly remunerated, they are poorly paid, there's naturally the dedication to duty may not be there. So there may be the tendency for the schools to begin to call, or school administrators to begin to, tax the students, in order to meet up with the financial obligations.
So, would it be safe to say, no matter how free the state government says education is, and no matter how much they pump into that system, that's to make education free, somehow would still see pockets of people extorting parents, because it's just how it is. If you want to get quality education, it can never be that free.
It can never be that free. That's what that's what I see. That's what I think it is. The school administrators, one way or the other, have to collect some money from parents in order to buy some basic necessities. That's what I think. If the funding was properly done and properly managed, the Nigerian government has enough to fund education properly. But there is this, problem we have in the Nigerian system. Like I said, the corruption. That is the basic problem we have. Extortion is something that you cannot talk about. You cannot, talk about other things without.
When you're talking about issues like this.
Yes.
All right, then. Thank you so much for, trying to get through to us and for sharing your thoughts with us on this issue of free education. Education can never be free. Quality education can never be free, in your words.
Quality education, that's the point. If you want quality education, you have to spend money.
Now, okay, it's either money has to be spent by either the government or by the people.
Well, if government is talking about free education, then they have to fund it properly, and it has to be properly managed. So the government has a part to play. School administrators also have a part to play, because the school administrators are the ones extorting money. So because they feel the money, allocated to running funding of the school is inadequate.
All right.
So
then.
it's a two-way thing. The government has to come forth with proper funding, and the school administrators have to come forth with proper management of whatever is, money is allocated to the funding of schools.
All right, Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Kalu, thank you so much for taking our time to speak with us on the program.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, that was Dr. Mrs. Ngozi Kalu, the head of the Department of Educational Foundation, University of Port Harcourt, and she had shared her thoughts on what she thinks free education is, which is what most of us expected it to be, or what we know it is, but unfortunately we're saying otherwise. But she said that there can never be quality free education. Mr. Ben, like we would want to call you on the program, do you agree with that?
Yes, I agree with her.
Do you feel that's part of the challenge we're facing?
Yes, because I told you, if they want to make it free, let it be free. Let government fund it very well.
Well, if I'm going by what she has said and what she explained, no matter how free government says it is, you still have to pay certain amounts of money. Maybe not up to 35,000 naira, but something would definitely leave your pocket.
Yes, but let it not be that they are doing it as if it's their right. That's what I'm talking about. Like now, the people that are from SS2 to SS3, they are telling them to pay 2,000 naira for cap 1 and cap 2. My question is, what is the meaning of this cap 1 and cap 2, and what is it for? Now, for the ID card for people that are writing WAEC, they should make it 1,005, 2,000 is fine. How much is ID card? That they will make it 5,000.
So for you,
for you to go and collect that result, now it will be up to 10,000 naira.
To collect result. All right, that's a story for another day.
It's all right.
But it's really unfortunate what some parents are going through in the hands of some principals in some public school. And we're using this platform to reach out to the governor of River State, the Commission of Education, to please do something about it. I understand that they send some supervisors once in a while, but the truth is, you send supervisor, they tell the school we are coming, and that day everybody prepares and make available something to give to somebody. I don't know. But that much more should be done. Much more should be done. And I also feel that a link should be created where parents can always lodge complaints, sharing their facts, sharing their challenges with the Commission of Education. So the Ministry of Education, rather, so parents can reach out to them directly, and if there's any thing they have, facts to prove to buttress their points and what they are going through, they add it up to that and share with the Ministry of Education, and then let them look into it. And whoever is responsible, whoever is doing wrong, should be brought to book. But up until then, we just hope that some people do not lose their life savings just because they have their children in public schools in River State. The phone lines are up. Let's hear from you. Get your eyewitness report, get your thoughts on this issue, and whatever it is you want to share with us, please do well to call in and share with us. The numbers are 0817-0000951 or 0810-9510951. You can send a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0701-933-9962. Good evening and welcome.
Hello, Buchi.
Good evening to you.
Good evening. This your program tonight is an interesting program.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, I heard from the HOD of Foundation Education, University of Port Harcourt. Yes, of the truth, that is another problem. I may say that that have resulted to this extortion from parents, this poor numeration of teachers. And again, teachers are paid. And then secondly, promotion, since ever since 2015 or 2017, there's no promotion that they conducted. But nevertheless, there shouldn't be an avenue where head teachers will use it or teachers will use it to extort pupils or students. Like in community secondary school, rulemaking here, they have the principal decided to phase out GS3. Imagine pupils who have been in GS1 to 2, GS3. He decided to phase out the old uniform just to extort money from parents, asking children to buy new uniform, not just buying the uniform from the market, but they must buy the uniform from him.
From the school there?
From the school. I'm talking about rulemaking here. I'm speaking from rulemaking. Okay. And then there's one other teacher called Sao that takes civic education. He has always been, in fact, since April he came to this school, he has been using an avenue, employed an avenue to extort the students, either by bringing one workbook or bringing current affairs to push students to buy current affairs of the, imagine current affairs that we can get in the market 200 naira. He puts it to students to buy 5,000. 500 naira, 700 naira in that order. Wow. If a child refuses to buy, his child automatically gets zero. He also employs, imagine pupils in GS1, GS2. He is imposing them to buy Nigerian Constitution. What the children have to do with Nigerian Constitution? GS1,
well,
GS2.
I cannot agree with you on that one. They need it.
Okay. Let's assume they need it. Now, but he has to impose it on them. He gets from the market maybe between 200 or 200 naira. They now impose it to students to buy 700 naira or 800 naira. I'm quoting a teacher, a civic education teacher called Sao. This is what he has been doing. If a child did not have it, automatically the child will not attend his test or his exam. Wow. Then now back to CPS, that is community primary school rulemaking. The same thing is applicable. They have been extorting these people, collecting 1,500 naira, sometimes 2,000 naira for examination fee.
So it's not just in the secondary school; it's secondary and primary.
Yeah, I'm speaking both primaries and secondary because I have children in primary and that of the secondary. Wow. Why I overheard the commissioner saying that no head teachers or principals should collect any fee from the children or pupils. But a different thing altogether is happening. So this your program tonight is an interesting program.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for calling in. I truly appreciate your calling in. The issue at rulemaking, hopefully we have the time to pay a visit to that school and see exactly what's going on there. Well, the only challenge I have is that going to some of these schools and asking questions. Okay, well, let me not even share that one with you. We'll deal with that ourselves. 95.1 FM. All right. I lost the call there. Do want to call back if you can. Good evening.
This is Mr. Zion. Good evening to you.
Mr. Zion, you're welcome.
You see, the truth is, because of poverty and illiteracy, even parents are not sincere to themselves. Look at what you just said, though, that a particular school, they ask them to pay 5,000 for ID card. Is it not so?
Mm-hmm.
See, I stand to be challenged and to be corrected by anybody. Let GL8, their salary is more than 50,000 naira. Here in River State, another part of the country, which is grade level 8, which means teachers are well paid in this part of the world. But because of greed and wickedness, that is why you see all these teachers or proprietors or school management team is having fees for the students to pay. And I was saying to all these teachers, to all these parents, sorry.
Why?
Shame onto all these parents.
Why, Mr. Zion?
Because they refuse to take their PVC to go and vote for the right people. They are paying for it dearly today, including the man in the studio here.
I don't agree with you on that, Mr. Zion.
I'm not yet landed.
No. It's a different thing. It's a different thing to look at the issue and address it. Yeah, Mr. Zion, you should hold on, please. It's a different thing because you say shame to an individual. it doesn't sound good
No,
at all.
not to the man of the studio. I'm talking about all parents, not him there. I'm coming to talk about him before you intercept me. What I want to tell him in the studio, he has seen what is happening. Elections are 2022, 2022, 2023. Oga, clean your PVC and vote for the right person. Forget whether it's 1,000, they are sharing 3,000. Forget about that. Take your PVC and vote for the right person.
All right, Mr.
So
Zion.
that when the calamity will come, it will not affect you and the children.
Okay.
You know that most people are facing their calamity because of they rigged the election for one political party. Because they refuse to go and cast their votes. This is the calamity a lot of people are facing today.
All right, Mr. Zion, thank you.
For free and fair education in this country. Even see, I also stand to be corrected. Most of the politicians of the grade A line, they have free education in this country. Some of them were sent abroad. Their parents did not pay a dime. How come is today's parents that want to pay a dime that there is no free education anywhere in the world?
All right, Mr. Zion. I hope they're listening and I hope they heard that. Some of them, true, I agree with you, did not pay a dime for their education, both within the country and outside the country. But unfortunately, they're not doing the same for other parents that need their help as much as they do. Well, you talked about going and voting for the right person. I think the biggest question would then be, who exactly is this right person? Because today, you see this person seem really promising and talking so much with a lot of intelligence, putting a lot of action into his word. And then tomorrow, you put them in certain position and permit me to use the word malfunctioning. So who then is the right person? All over the world, not just in Nigeria. 95.1 FM. Good evening to you, but I need you to be a bit more audible so we can hear you properly.
Okay, this is my colleague from Wonderful.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, the issue is that the government in power now is not really ready to help schools.
Are you there? Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Yes, the wicked administration is not ready. They are not ready for school. You get me there?
I'm listening.
Hey. No. It's what is happening in school. Right now, the education in Rivers State is zero. Easy, I can tell you, I was in this week, the last administration. They said free education. They get them free everything. But what we are seeing now is the schools the teachers are running the school, not even the government. So I call upon the River State government to look into this matter.
All right then. Thank you so much for calling in. Don't forget you can call in to share your area report, your eyewitness report. If there's anything going on that you want to let the rest of the world know, please, this is your time to call in and share your eyewitness reports with us. And if you want to also share your experience with the issue of free education in River State, you can do that as well. But don't forget, the essence of being here is to hear from you and know exactly what's happening with you. That's why the rest of the hour is for you. 95.1 FM.
Yes, good evening, Buchi.
Good evening to you. Welcome.
I remain anonymous around the measurement.
Okay, all right.
One of the secondary school I visited today.
What's the name?
Yes, I will not tell you. But after I will
then what's the point?
Yes?
What's the point? You're not telling us your name, but the name of the secondary
school.
Okay,
in Eche.
Okay.
Government secondary school, okay.
Okay.
I saw the students of junior and senior going at the same time. I said, have the coronavirus gone that government gave an issue that junior should go, and it means by 11, and from 11 the senior should go. They told them in March. I asked them, who asked you to do this? They said it's the principal or the authority. I don't understand whether some schools are taking authority by themselves. I get what I'm saying. And become confused. I stand to be corrected if it is the order from governor that schools can take decision by themselves. And that school is thickly populated. About approximately junior and senior maybe up to 500, if I'm not making mistake, or more than that. Would they be merging together? Please, they're supposed to be corrected. If it is order from government that some schools can make such arrangements, let me know. I was
Hello?
have had the right to do that, yes.
I didn't get the last part. What'd you say?
Yes?
The last thing you said, we lost you at the point.
I say if government are giving the principals order to take decision by themselves, uniform, going at the same time, and all that thing, that's what I want to know.
Okay.
Because I wanted to see the principal myself. I didn't see. I would have asked him. I'm an advocate of peace. Wanted to see him, but he was not done.
All right, then. Thank you so much for letting us know. Junior and senior secondary school, they're all living together. Well, it's not what it used to be like before. Junior leaves before senior, right? That's your complaint.
Not living. Senior will go as soon as the junior are dismissing. That's all that because of Corona. But today, all of them will be going at the same time. 7 o'clock and they dismiss at the same time.
Okay.
Mingling together. It will,
Irrespective of, it doesn't have anything to do with Corona this time, I guess. All right, thank you so much for calling in. Lost your call there. And lost this one as well. Please do all the call back if you can. Let's take some messages from the text message portal and the WhatsApp portal before we get back to the phone lines. This person says, Buchi, the principal... Sorry, it's taking a while to come up. Okay. Which the principal of junior secondary school in Igruta Community Secondary School is charging DSS 3 boys to pay 3,500 Igruta. 3,500 naira for their trouser uniform. Let them allow the students to buy their uniform and sew it by themselves or by their parents. AGA from Port Harcourt sent that one in. Okay. Is it the same Igruta I went to? Good evening, Buchi. Singto from Port Harcourt. Governor Wike promised to give electricity to Kana local government, which I'm reminding him of because I knew he did not. He did it before his tenure. I guess I want him to do it before his tenure runs out. If all governors in Nigeria try as he's trying, no state would have struggled for finance, especially on VAT. Okay. Good evening, Buchi. Coach Weme from Ndele. The youth of Owo Holders Council of Chiefs and Councils of Elders thank the chairman, the God signature from Akbabo community in Emoa for providing all amenities with many schools and good roads in Emoa. Emoa local government area is a well-planned place built in an environmentally sensitive area. Okay. All right. Thanks for educating us on Emoa. This says, good evening. East-West Road is still abandoned by present government. For me, it's disgraceful and shameful. George from Rumor was sent that in. George, to some extent, I would agree with you, but I think the other time I was going to Aoda on Saturday, I saw them walking on the road. I saw work going on one side of the road. There were tractors there, so maybe on that side of the East-West Road, they have commenced to work. This says, Buchi, the federal government backs open grazing. My question is, why the federal government so interested in cow rather than human life? I guess that's what you're saying. That's coming from Rume Biakani Chris. Okay, he said, Buchi, you're a Nigerian and you know the type of bad leadership we have here. Come to my area, Emelego Dwa, in Aboa local government area, and you shed tears for us. If our governor have been sending these monies for the running of these schools, I'm sure this issue will not be this rampant. It's better we pay fees and have our schools in better condition. That's coming from US Odiato from Port Harcourt. Okay. This one says, Bachi, the issue of head teachers and principals asking students to pay for anything they say, and if you refuse to pay, the students will be flogged or the students will fail. And if you complain, the worst will happen. Wow. Clinton, has this happened to you before or your ward? Clinton Omogo from OKHA sends that one in. And this says, appears that the River State government is not adequately funding the schools, and that is why there is so much extortion. If the government claims it is adequately funding the schools, then why can't they go to the schools and enforce it? Okay, that's a way to look at it, though. Are these in Rivers or London? Is the governor not in this state? We should leave politics and focus on these issues. Most of these schools are overcrowded with no chairs. All right. And this says, good evening, Coach Weme from Community Secondary Oroworuko and Government Craft Center Port Harcourt always fight at Ibuku Junction. Please, government should stop the fight. What's making them fight? Please explain that story better so we understand. Good evening to you. Welcome. Hello, good evening to you. Welcome. Chief Solo, go ahead. But I'll need it a bit more audible so I can hear you clearly.
Okay, this is about school issue. Our government, they actually try for the scholarship. The scholarship doesn't mean that government will buy school uniform, do everything for your child. No.
We're not talking about the special scholarship for some children. We're talking about the fact that they are saying it's free education, but people are still paying money for certain things. And they've given permission. They did not say you must buy uniform from the school, but some schools are saying you must buy uniform from them.
Yes, even if you must buy uniform, you must not, you won't get fee. School fee is what they give you as a free education. Or every other thing, buying of uniform, you will do that. If they have to buy a uniform, that is not a problem.
But why is it? Why are they making it compulsory to buy it from the principal in the school or from the school?
It's a compulsory because you must wear school uniform to the school.
Why can't you sew it outside?
If they have to pay school fee, is there the public will be confined, the government will be confined. So. And the government also doesn't mean that they give us free education. It does not mean that they take care of school facilities. So even if we are to pay fee right now, I don't still think that our government will still care to build facilities, classrooms for students. Because if you begin to watch the demand of medical doctors or health, and every other people on the strike, doesn't mean that they don't pay for the hospital. I think you will buy at hospital. So even if they ask us to pay fee, so it's education, no more free education. I don't think our government can be still ready to develop education. So whether they pay, they give us free education or not, they should care for school. You see. So that parents should not just rely everything on the government. If they have tried for the free education, I appreciate them. But they should put more effort to develop school classrooms. You see? So they should help these children. They are suffering. Most of them are suffocating in one classroom. You can imagine a child, children, in 300 children in one classroom. So it's not good. No good. Themselves, our politicians, their children, I don't think their children is among us, these children, suffocating.
All right.
So I like their, I congratulate them for giving us free education. They try because like that man that was earning 25,000 naira in a month, if he's to pay school fee, if school fee is among that expenditure he's spending, I don't think he will meet up. What is 25,000 naira in a month? You pay house rent, you pay every other thing, you buy food.
All right then.
So government, they try, they actually try. I thank them very well for the free education, but they should develop the children because even if they are asked to pay the fee, there is no more free education.
All right then. Thank you so much for your thoughts. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Go ahead, please.
This is Mr. Jordan. I'm calling from.
All right, I'll need you to speak up, please.
I am a teacher and I'm concerned about what they are talking about.
Oh, go ahead, please.
Let me share one or two experiences as an insider over what people are discussing.
Okay.
I was promoted, employed 2007, promoted from level 8 to level 9 at 2010, and then my promotion letter says financial benefits 2014. Now this is 2021. Nobody has asked you for that financial benefit. Not one naira is added. That is the plight of teachers in Rivers State. Now, put that aside. Put the plight of teachers aside. Put what we are passing through as people who are developing the manpower for the nation. Put how we are treated. Put it aside. Now, when you come to the principals collecting money, principals who are collecting money, when this present government, Governor Wike, came into government, he established what is called chargeable fees. We call it chargeable fees, not school fees. That money was about 3,000 plus. The principals who collect that money, there's a percentage they remit back to government, and there's a percentage to the one they use to run the government. At that time, nobody heard of principal collecting money or principal not collecting money.
Okay.
Because there was something made available for them to take out of the school, repair the school. You buy chalk. Sometimes rain will fall. The roof is part of the school. Principals will go and repair it. Sometimes chairs will spoil. Carpenters will be called to come and repair it. Sometimes child will send to school.
Okay.
Yes. As a father, a child will send to the school. Principals will run and take care of them. Now, they said there should be free education.
Now, what you just described was during the previous administration, right?
No. This current administration.
This current administration, okay.
Yes. Now, under this present situation now, no time has been given to these principals for some places. I want to suggest that principals should stop collecting any money. When there is no talk, teachers will sit down. It takes me sometimes. Students will not buy book. No, teacher should not buy his own. If there is free education, government should supply. And we use and teach. The government don't supply books. You tell students about they say teachers are this. What of Ministry of Agriculture? What of Ministry of Health? What happens there? Is only in education? If they don't like education, let them close it. Let all of us sit down at home. We can send our children to Togo and the Benin Republic. We are insulting teachers so much. Are we the only ministry in Liberty?
All right, then. Okay. Let me let you react to what he just said. Now, you heard all he said from the angle of an insider.
Yes, I heard what he said. And nobody is insulting teachers. It's just that, for now, I have 4 in secondary school. And I don't think if I've gone to hospital for any free medical, even if they say it's free or whatever, I have not gone to hospital. Neither have my children went to hospital or anybody around me. So I don't bother about that. I'm talking of what is disturbing me, that the government have said that education is free. But if they are saying that education is free is only for the tuition fee, which is school fees, they should tell us that this one is free. That is, nobody should pay a tuition fee, but any other thing we should pay for it. Let it be clear than to say education is free and they are collecting for registration. They are collecting people that we enter SS3. They will collect, just be collecting money everywhere. If they are not paying, if they have not. If they have promoted you and they are not paying you your salary, then talk. If they don't want to listen to you, you can sue them and get your right. It's not something that you put it upon the pupils and their parents or their guidance. It's not fair to anybody that is reasonable that they are not paying you or they are not bringing impress to the school for you to teach. Then you are putting it upon the children that you are teaching. Is it fair?
Let me just quickly share what the Commissioner for Education said. I read it to you earlier in part. I'll still take it again. The River State Commissioner for Education, Professor Kaniye Beku, has warned heads of public schools and staff against the collection of illegal fees, reminding them that the state governor's ban on the collection of school charges or fees, because you were talking about if it's going to be just tuition fee free, that let them know you can pay for other things. But he said school charges or fees for whatever purpose is still in force. And for emphasis, no principal or staff is authorized to collect charges for the making of school uniforms or for admission or any other purpose whatsoever. Professor Ebuku gave the warning during a routine monitoring of schools in the state capital to as the new school year enters the second week. And he said that the government of River State has zero tolerance for extortion and anyone caught will face appropriate sanctions. Now, the truth is, well, maybe not the exact truth, but if you're having challenges, if you're not being properly funded by the government, say it. If you cannot take it anymore, then bounce. I guess that's what some parents are saying. So, like the teacher even called in, I even think that what he said is actually okay. If you feel that the government is not providing the funds for the day-to-day running of the school, and you know as a principal, if you ask these children to tell their parents to bring this or bring that, they would complain. Let it just be, let everybody be looking at each other. But the problem is that you should talk about it. But unfortunately, nobody wants to talk about it because they feel that their job is at stake. And the truth is, as human and as Nigerian, and knowing fully well the situation of things right now, I can understand why you would not want to lose your job. Because we know what the rate of unemployment is like currently in the country, even in the States. But would you keep taking... It's not insult, but would you keep taking all of this because somebody is failing somewhere? Or maybe the funds being disbursed by the government is not enough. Or maybe when it gets to the board, the amounts they're supposed to get to the school is not actually what's getting to them. But you have to talk about all of this so people would know exactly where the fault is coming from and stop holding you responsible for something you know that you are not responsible for. But like I said earlier, we've all been talking about the school issue, but it's still area talk. So I'd love that you also call in and share situation reports about things happening around your community. That's what area talk is about. Although we paid a little bit of more attention to the free education in River State today, tomorrow it will be something else. But every day we would love to get your eyewitness reports because that's why we are here. 95.1 FM, good evening. I lost your call there. Please do not call back if you can. Good evening to you. Welcome.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, my name is Abanimaka Fidelis. Yeah,
okay. Even if I didn't get that name, where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm calling from Negrita. At least I'm a first-time caller, and I came over for my call service. So,
nice.
Yeah, I take so much interest on the topic tonight, but I want to focus on there is 2 points that I don't like. I have observed one thing about Nigeria is that they have a beautiful way just to marry your heart. But in terms of doing it, it's all about politics. For instance, your co-coordinator or your co-anchor there, wanted to, yes, your guest, he wanted to make a statement. He's living in a house of 120,000. His salary is just 25,000 per month. That's okay. And plus all the expenses, that's wrong. 2, the I don't know the person that you called. Is it the commissioner or minister of education or something? Look at the kind of answer the woman gave.
Well, she's saying it's what she thinks. She said what she thinks.
That's wrong. There is a roadmap for it. The governor or Yesuwike would have put down the process. There is a process. Are you gonna fund the school or not?
Now the process is the government pays it to the board, the school board, and then I guess a standing order is being raised for the various schools. And I was made to understand that the last time it happened was last year, August. And it was supposed to carry them for a year.
Okay, but the fact is that as an economist, you don't propose a budget without getting the expenses. Like, for instance, each of the schools would have tendered their budget.
So, in essence, what you're saying is that probably what was provided by the federal government is not enough for a year. Is that what you're saying?
It's a wrong statement. That statement
I'm
is wrong.
asking you.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that both of them are wrong statements. You don't tell me that when the government in Nigeria have failed us, who else can build the country? A whole government failed.
I'm not getting what your concern is right now. That's what I'm trying to understand.
My point right now is that let everybody be honest to themselves. Whatever government is using to run a school, let them know how to manage the resources and run the school with it. If the budget is not enough, they should go back to the government and leave the poor masses alone. These are the pure indigenous of the... Okay, for instance, let me draw a map from Lagos State, one of the schools in Lagos State. You know that Lagos State run to government university, government secondary schools. They have their grammar school and their other public school. Go and check the system of that grammar school, which my sister attended, because it was in the policy of a full registered taxpayer. It's a taxpayer's money that is used in running it. No single day that any person or my sister came to take a 1,000 to a school. No, it's not done.
All right.
The school has to be funded by government and government alone. Go and check it. It's on record.
All right then.
So please let us do whatever we are doing with God in our heart.
Okay. I guess you're saying that to the principals or head teachers. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, let me say something in this point that there are some people that are not even making up to 25 or 30,000 in a month.
I completely agree with you. Some persons, I've seen someone that makes 5,000 naira and he has children in the house.
That's what I'm saying. So will you say because of you don't have enough money, you not send your children to school?
In a place where we're trying to encourage children to be educated.
If I said I pay my rent 120 and my income is 25,000 and I'm making expenses from it to fund my children's school, I'm not wrong. Because there are some people that are
you're addressing the part you said.
Yes,
okay.
I'm not wrong. Because there are people that don't even have up to what I'm getting in a month. So you should not take it so as if we don't know what you are doing.
All right then. Thank you so much. This person says, Buchi, good evening. A business transaction took me to Ubi Mini community 2 days ago. Chai, Buchi, I was surprised that there's still a place that looks like that in Rivers State. I decided to leave my community Omagwa today to talk about them. Please, no government presence in that area. It's a total village. Seriously, they need government presence, Buchi. I know what I saw. I can't explain it at all here. It was something else. That's coming from Excellence from Omagwa. Excellence, I'm really interested in knowing what you saw. You sound really, really, really sad about what you saw there. We're interested in knowing what you saw. Please do also call in or send a message to explain better. This one says, good evening. I like the fact that your guest understood that the woman meant the education is not for free, because no matter how the governor tries to fund the schools, parents should also expect some levy, but not much. Your guess is the sincere type, but I don't think governments do not back up their words with actions. Okay. This says, Buchi, there might be free education in Rivers State, but the problem is the government and the commissioner of education. Buchi, I tell you, they hear and they know everything that is going on in the school, but they refuse to act. So I blame the government. They fail for their responsibility. That's coming from NDBC Dokubo. NDBC, is your community okay today? This one, you didn't say anything about them. We're not, look, it's not only school we are discussing today. It's still very much area talk. But nobody's giving me gist about what's happening in their community, and I'm very concerned. It's like everything is going well, which I'm happy for, though. Good evening, Buchi. What are you saying, that the teacher should come and speak out? That is what's saying government is paying you. Protest. Let people hear you. Stop hiding your feelings. Okay, Singto. Seems like you know my feelings better than I do. All right. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening. Yeah, my name is Clement. Come from Iho in Ahoda East Local Government of Rivers State.
Okay, Clement. What's happening?
Yeah.
Clement, were you the one that called to complain about the transformer? You said it's not being fixed.
They have brought 2 transformers.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say, because I heard that when I got there.
Yes, they have brought 2 transformers.
And they did it last week, and you didn't tell us.
No, I did call on Thursday. No, I called on Thursday. There's another issue. And then NYC, that NYC community-based health center is a federal government project actually, that is owned by the local government that finance it. The local government chairman should help us, because being a son of Ihowo and special advisor from Ihowo, they should help us, because the time is going, Nike is going, then we are going. So it's time now, so that we can get it done. I beg.
All right.
I'm telling them, I beg.
Okay. Thank you so much for calling in. 95.1 FM. Good evening.
Good evening, Gucci.
Good evening to you.
Yes, my name is Olo Lucky, and I'm calling you from Binature.
Welcome, Lucky. It's good to hear from you tonight.
Yes, Gucci, I want to thank the management of Today FM for sending this program to our time. So happy with the management. And meanwhile, the people of J are still crying on the bad road of the J. But you recall that a week ago, over 20 persons lost their life in auto crash, in a motor accident, and more than 20 persons lost their life in that incident. So we are calling, if the governor of Rivers State is listening to me now, I am begging. If the chairman of the local government is also listening, I am begging. The president is not in Nigeria now, but I'm calling on NDDC. The NDDC is also in charge of this is their responsibility to come and intervene. I am begging. You people should look for a way. I mean, the people of AJ are going through this trauma. 20% an instant, and there was nowhere to take them to. Now, Buchi, if people that was there doing that, then you can't even take them. You are taking them nowhere. No hospital to rush emergency. No ambulance. All these things are supposed to be taken care of. There should be an ambulance. Stand by. We are not praying for such things. But in case it happens, the ambulance will continue from there. But there was no ambulance. And when you have ambulance, there's no any hospital in a case to take these people. And 20 persons instant lost their life. I'm talking last week Sunday. And the people of Eche are still passing this through. I was thinking that accident could drag attention of the state government, the federal government, for nothing. Instead, the people of Eche are being blamed for not taking them to hospital. You are blaming Eche people for not taking those victims to hospital. We are begging the local government authority, especially now that the people have started moving in to the PDP, where the governor said the round table discussion will be discussed. We are begging. We continue to beg the authority. if it is a federal road, no problem. We are aware that it's a federal road, but you can still do something. The NBDC, you can still do something. The two of our sons representing Nigeria, two of our sons who is representing us in River State House of Assembly, why not make this thing as matter of urgent? I mean, coming out in state reason, and they said, look at what we want.
All right,
look at what the people of Nigeria want. Okay. I don't understand. It's getting so fun. Thank you so much.
Lucky, thank you so much for calling in. Sorry, I lost this call there. Okay, we have less than 5 minutes to wrap up the program. Let's hear from you. But before we get back to the phone line, let me take this message. This is good evening, Buchi. Good evening to you too. How is work? Work's good, thank you. So, Buchi, please tell us what next to do for my people or Lokuma to have road, because we have tried. We don't know what to do anymore again. Why our local government chairman decided to forget Olokuma this way? We ask nothing but road. It's not too much, I guess, to ask for from your chairman. Please, I beg, Honorable Hope Ikriko, please come and save Olokuma people from the pain of bad road. Please, my chairman, be the one that provides the road for Olokuma people. We need you to help us. I beg. That's coming from NDBC. Lokubo, and 5.1 FM. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening to you. Welcome.
George. Oh, George.
Welcome, George.
Welcome.
Go ahead, please.
Yes. I keep on asking about the impress that the governor of the state is allocating to the schools. And is asking that proper utilization in those interests. Buchin, I don't want to go far, but first of all, I want to appreciate you for you to extend this era talk to 2 hours. Now,
yeah.
Yes. Now, if you should go to Odeg Community Secondary School that is located in Romeo community, Buchin, not that the teachers are not coming to school. The teachers have to at least have this incentive. At least they have to have a working, the environment should be conducive for them. Likewise the students, because we are all human beings. This school is about collapsing in Odeg Community Secondary located in Romeo community. It's about collapsing. The local government that they are listening to our activities, state government is also listening. Why is it that the students do not have basic infrastructure going to school? Secondly, I told you vividly that people carry their decks to the school. Yes, people carry their decks in the modern society. People are carrying their decks to go. No convenience for them to be there. But I am pleading with them. They should be proactive in handling as the affairs of the education system. Because when we don't build the education system, I think the society will go astray.
All right then, George. Thank you so much for sharing your eyewitness reports with us. We encourage you to please join us tomorrow from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. for Area Talk. We'll be looking at other issues and as well taking your eyewitness reports, your situation reports, telling us about things going on in your community, your challenges, the good things happening, the bad things happening, the ugly things happening. We'll be taking all of that tomorrow on the program. My name is Buchi Rafua, and Mr. Ben, like we want to call him on the program, did a program with me tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Truly appreciate your presence.
Thank you, Buchi.
All right, then we have to go now. Coming up soon, a program comes up before Opinion Poll. Just stay with us. You're still on to Today 95.1 FM. Good evening.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Welcome to the Guinness Football Show.
The show comes your way on Mondays and Fridays on this dial, and at this time, there are 3 exciting segments on the show. The EPL News Roundup, where we refresh you with exciting and trending news about the English Premier League. Next is the EPL Match Center, where we preview or review EPL matches in a special way. And finally, we have the EPL Extra Time, where we serve you interesting starts for the ever-exciting English Premier League.
The City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Let's go on a break and start the show proper. This is the Guinness Football Show, proudly brought to you by Guinness.
Black. It's not dark, it's bright. Brighter than the sun. Black is bold. Black, it's an energy. Black is every color all together. It's my thing, this thing here, that thing over there, all mixed with your thing. Drink it in. Black shines brightest. Guinness.
Not to be sold to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Welcome to the EPL News Roundup. Welcome back from the break. It's still the Guinness Football Show, brought to you by Guinness. Owen Hargreaves has slammed Fred for his role in Everton's equaliser against Man United, claiming Sir Alex Ferguson would have dropped him for a month. United missed the chance to move to the top of the Premier League table after being held to a 1-1 draw by Everton at Old Trafford on Saturday. Anthony Martial opened the scoring for the hosts 2 minutes before the interval, but Andros Townsend levelled proceedings just before the hour mark as he finished off a swift counter-attack. Everton managed to clear United's corner at the near post, and Demarai Gray reacted quickest to pick up the loose ball, nipping in ahead of Fred just in the nick of time. Gray's first touch took him towards the byline and gave Fred another chance to win the ball, but the Toffees attacker then managed to shoulder barge the Brazilian out of the way before laying the ball off to Abdoulaye Doucouré. Doucouré then deceived Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw by cutting inside and playing in Andros Townsend, who took a touch to set himself before calmly slotting past David De Gea in the Red Devils' net. Former United midfielder Hargreaves, who played under Alex Ferguson between 2007 and 2011, has suggested that current boss Ole should hold Fred responsible for failing to stop Everton in their tracks. Never ever, not in a million years, should that goal be allowed to happen, he said after the game. That's what you get paid for. That's why you're there. That's your job to stop that goal. I would have taken that personally. You cannot get bumped off the ball by Demarai Gray, and if he does, you foul him. Man United manager Ole defended his decision to rest Cristiano Ronaldo ahead of the 1-1 draw with Everton on Saturday. Ronaldo has scored 5 goals since returning to Old Trafford, but was left on the bench against Rafa Benitez's side along with Paul Pogba and Jadon Sancho. Ronaldo came on with United leading 1-0 thanks to Anthony Martial's goal, but were pegged back by Andros Townsend's equaliser. Asked afterwards whether it was the right decision to bench the Portuguese striker, Solskjaer insisted he had no regrets. You make decisions throughout a long season, and you've got to manage the players' workload, and the decision was for me the correct one today, Ole said. United have won just 2 of their past 6 games as they head into the international break and face a tricky run of games when the Premier League resumes. Ole's teams play Leicester City, Tottenham, Liverpool and Man City in their next 4 league matches, as well as 2 make-or-break Champions League clashes with Italian side Atalanta. Timo Werner has expressed his relief after scoring against Southampton, conceding that the first half was the story of my whole Chelsea career as he saw a goal ruled out by VAR. Chelsea rose to the top of the Premier League table after a hard-fought 3-1 win at home to Southampton on Saturday, thanks to goals from Trevor Chalobah, Werner and Ben Chilwell. Werner's effort marked his top-flight goal since February, and he showed great character to keep plugging away in the final third instead of letting his head drop after seeing a first-half header ruled out in controversial fashion. Werner thought he had put Chelsea 2-0 up as he rose highest to nod home a teasing Odoi's cross shortly before the interval, with both teams returning to their respective halves after lengthy celebrations. Chelsea's misery was compounded when James Ward-Prowse equalised for Southampton on the hour mark, but he was sent off for the second yellow card moments later, and Werner was then presented with another chance to make his mark. The German striker turned home a Cesar Spilicueta cross to pull the Blues back in front and cap an impressive all-round display, with Chilwell then rounding off the scoring 1 minute from time. Watford have parted ways with head coach Cisco Munoz after the defeat at Leeds United on Saturday. Leeds beat Watford 1-0 at Elland Road thanks to an early goal from Diego Loriente and moved to within just 1 point of their opponent in the Premier League standings in the process. The Hornets are now sitting 14th, just 4 points above the drop zone, and the club has decided to make a change in the dugout to try to turn their fortunes around quickly. Watford have confirmed Cisco's departure in an official statement which reads, Watford FC confirms Munoz has left his post as the head coach of the club. Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta has lauded Albert Sambi Lokonga for his performance in a 0-0 draw away to Brighton in the Premier League on Saturday. The Democratic Republic of Congo prospect partnered Thomas Partey in the Gunners midfield, deputising for Granit Xhaka, who was not available owing to an injury sustained in a 3-1 win over Tottenham Hotspur last weekend. The Spanish tactician believes the young star is developing, and despite playing against a good team, he did well. That's the end of the EPL News Roundup. We'll go on another quick break, and when we return, it will be time for the EPL Match Center. This is the Guinness Football Show, proudly brought to you by Guinness.
The Guinness Football Show will be right back.
Black, it's not dark, it's bright, brighter than the sun. Black is bold. Black, it's an energy. Black is every color all together. It's my thing, this thing here, that thing over there, all mixed with your thing. Drink it in. Black shines brightest. Guinness.
Not to be sold to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
Get ready for the EPL Match Center.
Welcome back, guys. It's still the Guinness Football Show, brought to you by Guinness. Man United won, Everton won. Ole's men have now failed to win in 2 consecutive home games and are losing grounds on the title race. Brighton 0, Arsenal 0. Brighton halts Arsenal's run of 3 wins in the Premier League. The Gunners kept another clean sheet, which was their 3rd in the last 4 games. Chelsea 3, Southampton 1. Chelsea dug deep to put the Saints to the sword after the visitors equalised and even threatened to win. It's the first win in 4 games in all competitions for the Blues. Leeds United 1, Watford 0, Burnley 0, Norwich City 0, Wolves 2, Newcastle United 1. Crystal Palace 2, Leicester City 2, Tottenham 2, Aston Villa 1, West Ham United 1, Brentford 2, Liverpool 2, Man City 2. That's it on the EPL Match Center. We'll go on another quick break, and when we return, it will be time for the EPL Extra Time. This is the Guinness Football Show, proudly brought to you by Guinness.
The Guinness Football Show will be right back.
The show comes your way on Mondays and Fridays on this style, and at this time, there are 3 exciting segments on the show. The EPL News Roundup, where we refresh you with exciting and trending news about the English Premier League. Next is the EPL Match Center, where we preview or review EPL matches in a special way. And finally, we have the EPL Extra Time, where we serve you interesting starts from the ever-exciting English Premier League.
The City is still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
Let's go on a break and start the show proper. This is the Guinness Football Show, proudly brought to you by Guinness. It's not over. This is the EPL Extra Time. Welcome back. It's the final stretch of the Guinness Football Show, which is proudly and ably brought to you by Guinness. Arsenal have scored just 5 goals in the opening 7 league games, their fewest at this stage of the season since 1986 to 87. Also 5 goals in what was George Graham's first campaign in charge of the Gunners. Southampton, Burnley, Newcastle and Norwich are yet to win a league match this season, making it only the second season in English top-flight history where 4 teams have failed to win any of their opening 7 games after 1964 to 65. James Ward-Prowse is the 4th Southampton player to both score and be sent off in a Premier League match after Peter Crouch May 2005, Sadio Mane October 2015 and Pierre-Emile Holberg December 2018. Raul Jimenez has recorded 50 goal involvements in the Premier League, 35 goals and 15 assists, the second Mexican to record as many combined goals and assists in the competition after Chicharito, 53 goals and 10 assists. Jeff Hendrick is the only 3rd Newcastle player to score in the first half of a Premier League match as substitute after Gary Speed versus Coventry City in September 1998 and Norberto Solano versus Wimbledon in November 1998. Trevor Chalobah is Chelsea's joint top scorer at Stamford Bridge in the Premier League under Thomas Tuchel, 2 goals despite only attempting 2 shots. Everton have 14 points from their 7 Premier League games this season. Only 2004-2005, 16 have they had more after their opening 7 matches in the competition, going on to achieve their best ever position in the table in the division that season, 4th. Man United have conceded at least once in each of their last 9 league matches at Old Trafford, their longest run of games without a clean sheet at home in the top flight since February 1971, 10 games. Andros Townsend has scored 5 goals in 9 appearances in all competitions for Everton, as many as he scored in his final 79 matches for Crystal Palace. He has scored in 3 consecutive appearances for a Premier League club for the first time in his career. Bruno Fernandes' assist was his 50th goal involvement in 58 Premier League appearances, 30 goals, 20 assists. Only Andy Cole, 43, Alan Shearer, 54, and Eric Cantona, 54, reached 50 combined goals and assists in fewer games in the competition. That is where we draw the curtain on today's show. Thank you for listening and make it a date when we return next week for another edition of the Guinness Football Show on this dial and at this time. Tell someone else about it as well. Until then, keep chilling with a chilled bottle of Guinness. Remember, this show is proudly brought to you by Guinness Extra Stout.
Black. It's not dark, it's bright. Brighter than the sun. Black is bold. Black, it's an energy. Black is every color all together. It's my thing, this thing here, that thing over there, all mixed with your thing. Drink it in. Black shines brightest. Guinness.
Not to be sold to persons under the age of 18. Drink responsibly.
That was the Guinness Football Show.
When the weather becomes strict and everything becomes
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Beautiful Monday night it is, live here in the city of Port Harcourt, in the studio of your premium talk news and sports station, Today 95.1 FM. And I'm pretty much excited to be live on the radio with you again on the program Opinion Poll. I'm pretty sure some persons were waiting for unraveling. Okay, so get used to it. Okay, change is the only constant thing. So this is how it happens now, right? Air Talk runs for 2 hours now and then leads you straight to opinion poll. My name is Gloria Kati, and I am here with Dave Robert as usual. Okay, and we will be having a nice time with you on radio from now to the top of the hour 10 before the world news comes your way. So let's have a great conversation. It's a new week. It's the first working day of the week. And as you know, as Dave will always say, what we do on Monday, it's more or less, reviewing, what the government has done or what has happened in the country, okay, during and over the weekend. And we can bring these to you, table them one after the other, once a day, okay, and have you throw in your thoughts on these pressing issues. And I have another pressing and important conversation to discuss with you because this is a very, very critical aspect in society, and that has crippled and, hindered one of our primary rights. Should I say right? Primary needs, rather, as a people in society. And so we will be doing this together tonight, you and I, with Dave Robert. Dave, good evening.
Good evening, Gloria. How are you doing?
I'm doing very fine, and you?
I'm great. Still basking in the euphoria of the 61st anniversary. And I know
really?
most people still say and think that there was nothing to celebrate, but life is here, and and we're still together. We're still happy. We're still together as one people. So many projections before this time that Nigeria wasn't going to get up to this age, and here we are. Looking them in their face and saying, "Hey,
and we'll
be
moving
62
on.
Next year."
I know, right? and we will get better.
Yeah,
we will get better. Okay, then that's a grand intro from Dave Robert. The numbers you can call to be a part of this conversation tonight are 0817 000 0951 or 0810 951 0951. That is 0817 000 0951. or 0810-9510951, or you can send in your text or WhatsApp messages to 0701-933-9962. 0701-933-9962.
All right. I wanted to tell you before we started the show that we'll just let people know. Okay. So if you're out there and you're trying to send a message on Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram.
Did I mention WhatsApp? Did I mention WhatsApp?
You mentioned WhatsApp right now.
Okay.
So it's not possible.
It's not.
Okay.
It's not possible, right?
The orgas at the top have said for today, everyone should do away. And it's quite good, okay? Let's just leave normally the way it was before.
I know, right?
This time.
But then it's so weird. It feels like a large part of our lives
has gone.
Has gone. Eh?
You lost someone. So you cannot send a message on Facebook, WhatsApp, or Instagram for today. All right? Just keep that phone, allow it charge. You do it whenever they say to bring it up. But for now,
that's it. You're not the only one in that situation. Okay. So tonight, as I was coming, I was wondering, okay, with the rate at which insecurity is ravaging the country and the lives of people as well, I got thinking, where are we heading? I got thinking, how can we really, really tackle the issue of insecurity in the country? I got wondering, for these people who possess small arms, light weapons, for these individuals and cult groups who have made it a daily thing to always cause havoc in their various communities, okay, and little corners, how can we come over? Or how can we come out of this very pressing situation in the country? And then, amazingly, should I say amazingly, not really amazing, because it's not the first time we've been seeing such move from the government, okay? I stumbled upon something on the internet, okay, in one of the news platforms, a recent, a move from the federal government towards the issue of insecurity in the country. And like I said, this is not the first time we've been having, such gatherings, such move, right? Having to do with the proliferation of small arms and light weapons in the country. This is not the first time we're seeing a thing like this. And I got wondering again, so how much water can this now hold this time? How effective can this bill really be? I mean, look at your environment. Look at you. I've heard, in fact, just few days ago, a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, was kidnapped. It was a very terrific experience, really. And Dave asked, I remembered immediately I got that report. I just remembered vividly the last time Dave asked me if someone dear to me had been kidnapped before. And I said no. And I just thought, okay, now someone dear has been kidnapped.
Like the prophecy came through.
Dave, right? Dave, please. I think you shouldn't ask me certain questions again.
There is oil on my head.
Oh my gosh.
You know.
So the issue of insecurity is a very pressing one, all right? Kidnapping, bearing of small arms is something that sometimes I wonder how these little ones, how these young ones, how these militias tend to possess these arms, how these people tend to really, have hold of these arms. But the truth is, we have illegal and local, sports, illegal and local areas, where these small arms are made, which give them access, to purchase these arms and get to use it however they like and all of that. And the proliferation, according to the SBM intelligence, they have said that these small arms and ammunitions is driving the increasing rate of violence in Nigeria. Now, that's not even where I'm going to. The number of small arms in circulation, this was a report from actually 2020. I really searched for a report in 2021. I couldn't lay a finger on any. All I was just seeing is it cannot be ascertained. But then I had to go down to this one since it's the nearest here. The number of small arms in circulation in Nigeria in the hands of civilian non-state actors is estimated at 6,145,000. While the armed forces and law enforcement collectively account for 586,600 firearms. The report published in the month of October in 2020.
So sorry, give us that figure again.
Non-state actors is estimated at 6,145,000. While the armed forces and law enforcement collectively account for 586,600 firearms.
I strongly doubt that.
Why do you strongly doubt that?
I strongly doubt that. I mean, the statistics or the number of force men in Nigeria might even be above that. So how would we have more force men with lesser arms?
Well, I do not doubt that because I strongly believe that in our communities, in our various communities, and even in the cities, we have lots of these people, lots of these these civilians,
Okay, your the stats is like having people who make these things locally inclusive, not the ones who purchase it legally.
Not the ones who purchase it legally.
All right.
And it's quite alarming.
So you're like in a nutshell, more civilians have
exactly that's the angle I'm coming from.
Oh, okay.
More civilians having firearms than even the government.
Wow.
Than even the
legally authorized
exactly.
People. Yes.
And that's a very improper fraction, if I would say it that way. That means the country in general, we're not even safe. That means if civilians should come out to wage a war.
You remember?
Oh my God!
You remember? My mind just went back to the end-SARS protest where most police stations were raided and then arms stolen.
Yeah.
And then, the issue of repentant cultists who drop their arms. And then after a period of time, you hear them saying that these arms they dropped were just a little bit, the tip of the iceberg compared to what they actually had.
Yeah, exactly.
We also hear cases of some bad eggs and black sheeps in the Nigerian police force and then the army selling arms to these people, the civilians.
Yeah.
And of course, the old trade of firearm making in history, in not just in Nigeria, all over the world. It's like one of the foremost mechanisms of existence, because you have to defend yourself. You create tools for farming, you create tools for hunting, and then it's a natural thing. So I'm thinking to myself right now, if we have more civilians with more lethal weapons than government authorized personnel, aren't we already in the state of chaos?
Exactly my point. Like, it's a very abnormal situation. It's already an alarming situation where the government really has to take a very rapid and swift action towards this. Because like I mentioned, these guys, if they just decide, okay, let's come together, all right, with their cookings, you know what I mean by cookings, okay?
No.
You don't know what I mean by
I don't know what you mean by cookings.
How can you know what I mean by cooking? Anyway, I'll let this slide.
What do you mean by cookings?
Okay, those things they put in their bodies, okay?
Their charms,
the charms, exactly,
amulets.
all right?
Okay.
So bullets won't pierce through and all, okay? So
the
if
ones
these
they call
guys,
Odeshi.
What? Yeah, Odeshi. Oh, thank you very much. I think Dave has been there before.
I haven't been there.
Okay, so
I've watched it on movies, by the way.
that's just on a lighter note. So if they decide to wage a war or protests, a non-peaceful protest against the government or even against their fellow civilians for whatever reason, where do we stand?
I think what you would actually say is the number of kidnappings, insurgency, banditry, armed robbery cases, can't it be traced back to the fact that we have more civilians having more lethal weapons than even the... Because if you say there is a criminal scene or, a criminal activity going on, and then you release our police officers, our well-equipped police officers in court.
Okay.
Maybe 2 police officers or 3 or 4 or 5 police officers with 10 weapons or 10 guns to go and face an armed gang of about 20 with 20 weapons with them. You sure will have the the prophecy of who would win and who would lose to that battle.
Yeah.
All right? Having more people, that's where the argument comes from. Why do we have this cattle headers having weapons? Why do we have this people who say they're protecting their cattle having weapons? It traces back to this fact that we're having more civilians having more lethal weapons. And if we're not able to strike a balance now, it will be the other side very soon, where more civilians would actually have more dominance when it comes to deciding who to take whose life, who takes whose life, and who allows who stay alive.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly.
And let's also not forget that, these local arms manufacturing sectors have been established in the southern regions. Okay. 2 of the places mentioned was in Enugu and Calabar.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah. Having arms manufacturing, sectors.
Was it in Calabar we had the child take a gun to school, the little girl take a gun to school and threaten the teacher who beat her up?
I remember that story.
I think it was in Akwa Ibom State.
I think it's Akwa Ibom State.
Yeah.
I think. So these are the 2 states mentioned, okay, amongst a few others where they have locally made arms rather. I'm sorry. Now, for the northern region, the report said the proliferation of small weapons coupled with existing state corruption, large tracts of ungoverned spaces, and mass unemployment has largely been responsible for the rising criminality. Now, there's something I'm looking for. Okay, it said the region has... there's something I'm really looking for. Okay, I think I'll find that later, where the Boko Haram and the headers also, get to take the arms from the police and the army themselves. So that's part of the way they get their arms, not always or not necessarily going to purchase arms and all of that. But that's just laying a foundation of what we are driving to tonight. That's just giving you, a statistics, okay, or a statistics of what it looks like possession of arms in the country, particularly the southern part of the country. Okay, this also brings me to what some governors stated about defending yourself. But before I come to what they stated, let's go straight up to what has happened, or the meeting that was had, or the bill rather, all right, seeking to tackle the proliferation of arms in Nigeria. Okay, the Nigerian Army, the police, Nigerian Immigration Service, and the Importers Association of Nigeria have thrown their weight behind a bill in the House of Representatives seeking to give legal backing to the ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons. Okay, the ECOWAS usually holds this convention on a yearly basis, okay, to give support to tackling the proliferation of arms in the member state. The stakeholders state their various positions at a public hearing on ECOWAS Convention on Small Arms and Light Weapons, their ammunition, and other related matters. All right. It will be recalled that the bill passed second reading at the plenary on Wednesday, 14th July 2021, and was referred to the Committee on Treaties, Protocols, and Agreements for further legislative action. Let's move forward. It is internationally known that Importers Association is strategically placed. Now, I'd like us to take note of this. It is internationally known that Importers Association is strategically placed at a vantage position to help governments checkmate all categories of importation of goods and services, whether legal or illegal, and thereby serve as perfect infiltrator to filter all imperfections elements right from the countries of origin. Now, this was said by the Inspector General of Police, Usman Akali Baba, okay, represented by Assistant Inspector General in charge of armament. That was the person of Mohammed Lawan. Now, I saw this and I got wondering. The association strategically placed at a vantage position to help government checkmate all categories of importation of goods and services, whether legal or illegal. That means we won't have to see the sale of or the importation of illegal goods. We won't have to see these goods, these arms, these whatever it is that is illegal coming into the country, because there are an association, or there is an association strategically placed to checkmate all the categories of these goods coming into the country. The overall objective of the strategy is to prevent, combat, and eradicate the illicit proliferation, circulation, and trafficking of small arms and light weapons in an integrated and holistic manner across all regions in Africa. Meanwhile, recall that the President, Muhammadu Buhari, on Monday, 4th May, approved the establishment of a national center for the control of small arms and light weapons to be domiciled in the office of the National Security Advisor, the Nigerian presidency. Now, he said this on Twitter. I'll have to bring us back, take us back a little to some of the moves that has been made by the federal government concerning this same situation, concerning the control of small arms and light weapons as well. Yet again, we still see the proliferations. Yet again, that move has not been we've not seen the effect of that center that has been established for the control of small arms. This National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons is set to serve as the institutional mechanism for policy guidance, research, and monitoring of all aspects of small arms and light weapons in the West African country. This was a statement from the Office of the National Security Advisor. Now, we are yet to see the effect of that National Center for the Control of Small Arms. Yet again, this bill that has been passed for second reading to tackle the proliferation of small arms and light weapons. So two things I got wondering here. How intentional can we really say the government is towards tackling the security challenges in the country? How much water can this particular bill hold? Meanwhile, let's also recall some of the. We also had the governor of Katsina State. We had the Governor Otom also. Okay, coming out to say that the federal government should allow Nigerians bear arms to protect themselves. Nigerians should be allowed these small arms so that they can. I mean, let's also consider these people who are already bearing these arms, like we mentioned earlier. Let's also come to see. Let's not dispute the facts or dispute these cult groups, these insurgents, these bandits, these criminals who are already in oh my God, what's the word right now? Who are already in
tandem with in alliance. Is it the word you're looking for?
Alliance, not exactly alliance. They're already oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna use another word. They're already in use of these small arms.
Okay.
So can we say can we say that this bill, do you think this bill is inconsequential, judging from the fact that people already have these arms? Or do you think that if passed into law, it will tackle the issues of insecurity at the state and grassroots levels? Now, let's not forget, I will come again, let's not forget that these people, all right, if they say this bill is to tackle the proliferation of small arms, what is it also going to do to these criminals who are already in use of these arms?
I would ask the question: how do they go about the passing of the bill, that would mitigate the proliferation of arms in Nigeria? One, we have an existing problem of insecurity. You cannot tell me not to have a lethal weapon to defend myself in places like Jos. Sorry to use that place for an example. In places like Jos, where there is a religious ethnic crisis, you can't tell me not to have a weapon to defend myself. If I'm in that kind of situation, someone is coming to take my life and I have to defend myself. You cannot tell me to have a bill that would regulate what I do to protect my life. So that's one. Secondly, how do they check these locally made weapons? How do they check it? I mean, little children now know how to couple weapons, know how to couple guns.
But I think, the bill is seeking to tackle this proliferation. I think law enforcement agencies are going to be placed in strategic positions to checkmate the activities of these local communities, of these local manufacturers of arms.
Is holding a firearm in Nigeria legal?
It's not legal, of course.
So they have been doing their job before this time, I guess. All right. If I stop a car and then I search, if I was a police officer, I stop a car and I search and I see a gun, whether it's legal or not, the first thing that come to a police officer's mind, in a typical Nigerian police officer's mind, is you are a criminal. Okay, you should be arrested. You should be prosecuted. So it's illegal to even have a weapon in Nigeria. So they have been doing the job. Now, how do they make it easy to pick out these people who provide these weapons, import them? How do they make it easy to pick out these people who produce these weapons locally? Is the problem, because they have been sorting out for criminals who have weapons from the inception of Nigeria. But dealing with the people who import, dealing with the people who produce locally would be the bone of contention if they actually want to see this bill holding water. Because I do not know how you would go about from state to state, community to community, with probably a special agency or a special response team that would go and search for who produces guns locally and arrest them. And yet again, there are arguments that people need these things for self-protection. Hunters will tell you, I need it to work. I go to the forest to hunt and I need my Dane guns. So if I use my Dane guns in the forest and then the criminal, an armed robber, comes to my house, I can also use it for self-defense.
I mean, look at the issue of the farmers' headers crisis
Of
as well.
course. I am a farmer. I need to protect myself. Should I go to the farm without protection because I want to uphold the law? No. People who have legal guns who keep them in their houses have use for it. It's actually authorized. They bought it with their money, followed all the due processes, and kept it in their houses. So the day someone comes to rob, they use it on. It's actually legal.
So are you saying that, civilians should be allowed to bear arms instead?
I am saying this bill is inconsequential. Saying you want to ban the proliferation of firearms in Nigeria shouldn't be the case. Let's deal with insecurity as it is. Who are these people who carry out this act? I can have a gun with me, but I'm not using it to do things that are against the law.
But yet again, that's the thing. People can, possess these guns and then tend to use it anyhow. I mean, look at
But we are already in a situation where people who have those guns are already using it anyhow.
So wouldn't it be a more severe situation where even, the non, what they call them again, the non-military, all right, and those
civilians.
Civilians.
Yes.
How? What was I?
Wouldn't it be a case of chaos? I think you're painting a typical picture of the United States. Where everyone in some parts.
Yeah, there are just three countries in the world anyway that has arms. All right, the use of arms for protection.
Yeah, like
legalized.
Some parts of some states have it legalized. You can have your guns, and we see the kind of chaos that goes on. But in the mind of someone who has a weapon, if I come to you and I'm actually threatening your life, and I know you have a weapon, it's a 50-50 thing. You either kill me or I kill you. It's quite different from you coming to me as a criminal, knowing fully well that I am unarmed. Okay? So what I'm saying is, deal with the issue of insecurity as it is.
Now, look at the situation of, let's take for instance, okay, someone gets pissed one morning, or his neighbor.
It happens. I even saw one video recently where a toddler had possession of an unguarded gun and then killed the mother. It was live on Instagram.
Exactly what we're seeing here again.
Not in Nigeria, though.
If this happens to be the case in Nigeria, everybody's bearing arms. I mean, your child could just walk up to your room. That's, maybe one day you could just forget to keep it properly. And then your child walks into your room and takes a hold of it unknowingly, maybe for that child who doesn't really know anything.
So you would rather stay without guarding yourself and waiting for anything to happen?
What I'm saying is, if everyone should bear arms, it's going to lead to a more severe situation.
What are we in right now?
We are in a severe situation.
But
that is going to lead us into a more severe situation. Because every little thing you're hearing gunshots, nobody is safe anymore. Because the other person, in fact, your sense of security is even limited.
Because you don't even know who is armed.
You don't even know who is armed. You don't know the next person who is planning evil against you. You're
right
walking,
now,
you're coming
as it
home
stands,
one
you
night.
do not even know. Right now, you don't still know. So why wouldn't it be better if you legally had a source of protection?
Don't you also think that these legalizing the use of these arms, okay, is also going to get it into the wrong hands? It's also going to make these bad guys possess it in a more legal way. Because I mean, you would not, unless you want to discriminate who uses these guns from the other person, okay, or unless you want to checkmate the activities of each civilian to see who is not a criminal and who is a criminal. But I don't think Nigeria would have or has that kind of structure to ascertain who is and who isn't. So if everybody should come bearing arms, okay, that is going to be a more chaotic situation.
But as it stands right now, the proliferation of these arms has already been in existence. People who create these things are in the village. You don't even know about them. It's a craft. People who import these things, we do not know about them. They do these things. So whether you like it or not, it's already in a very, very the word is unlimited flow in the society. Everyone can have access to a gun.
The proliferation now would make it limited. Okay, now, first of all, it's going to limit the inflow of the importation of these arms, one. Then I think also, if the government really wants to fight the proliferation of these arms, then there should be maybe a task force or an agency.
No.
I just said maybe, okay?
No.
Or an agency, okay, who are designated to different areas, okay, of different communities. I mean,
have you even heard, we talked about the argument of fighters arguing that they actually need protections because of some things that happen. They go to some places. Some people will say ordinary firefight. Yes. They need, according to them, that they need a form of protection when they are in some situations. So it's almost like, I understand, that people will take it to the wrong extent of using it, for different reasons. But at the same time, since we are in this condition, proliferating firearms is not the best solution to this. The federal government, let me not use the federal government. The president said on the 1st of October that he has spotted one particular person who is sponsoring secessionists in the country.
Yeah.
What is done to that kind of person? What are done to sponsors? US came out a couple of months back to say they can actually pinpoint sponsors of insurgency and banditry in Nigeria. If they are given the opportunity, they would name names. Yet again, we have not heard things about that.
Okay, the time is fast spent. I feel so. Dave is on the side of using arms.
I am on the side of saying, look, we are already in a bad condition. It's bad enough to know that a 10-year, 11-year-old boy has a gun on that street, and you can't come back home if you're not properly guarded.
Come think of it. Okay, now the use of these arms are not legalized. Yet again, these children take them to school and use it for evil, to cause havoc. A child takes a gun to the school. I mean, a child could just wake up in the morning.
It's already in a bad state. We're already in that condition
and
where
we don't need to,
it's everywhere.
We don't need to make it worse. I'm of the opinion that legalizing the use of arms is going to make the situation worse. Tackling the proliferation, even if not eradicating it, it's going to mitigate it to an extent. That's what I'm saying. But let's hear your thoughts on this issue. 0817-000-0951 or 0810-951-0951. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Mr. Dave Roberts.
Good evening, Mr. Sam. Good evening, Mr. Sam. Good evening to you.
Yeah, a blessed evening to you and my lady, Gloria Carter.
You're welcome, Mr. Sam.
Yeah. They are all happy, but being the first caller, I'm a bit happy now. Because I was calling to Chirafa. She was just at that time extending her. But let me not say much. Which is my good person anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Mr. Dave Roberts, you see, sincerely, I see the nation now as a playground where they play with everything. Sensitive things they play with. When we begin to talk, they keep making laws upon laws, but they are not obeying it. Just look at the recent law they passed about prohibition of cattle, whatsoever, Look at what they are doing. Every blessed day, night, you see them moving with their cattle around. Nobody's doing anything. And you see other group of whatever governor who are sworn to the Constitution and their responsibilities to protect life and property, knowing that one person should not override somebody's right. Will come out and say the laws, the states that pass the laws of prohibiting cattle, whatever, full grazing, they are going to go against them. That is a very wrong thing. Now, when we are talking about this glorification of little arms now, the thing is that, you see, that thing is just all about noise making. In the sense that you will never hear that they arrest somebody except the person that maybe he or she did not wear. That's when you will see the person name on the newspaper, on the radio, on television, and what have you. I begin to look at this nation. See, we are crying about Suja and what have you, this fire. You can imagine that this morning I was at the neighbor waterside. I went there. There is a police station there. There is military. What do I call it? Small check or garrison here. But these people were uploading this fire kerosene very, very close. They're not up to how many meters from there. It's very open, very obvious, and nobody is doing anything. So you see, really, now when they are talking about this decision of
Mr. Sam, you need to round off now because of time.
Okay, let me begin to run. Now, why should some group of persons, they act headsmen, the killer headsmen, they will be carrying guns, killing people, and nobody has declared it a terrorist group. They should be declared terrorist group, and we go after them in a very drastic way, so that we will know that what they are doing is wrong. And lastly, as a roundup, you see, I like Mr. President, but I don't like what he's doing. In the sense that during his reign, these Fulani people, their horns has been overshot. They have grown so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sam.
And for him to come out to say they know somebody who is sponsoring these people, this Boko Haram, and they are not mentioning that, it's better they keep quiet.
All right, thank you, Mr. Sam. I need to let you go now.
Thank you,
very much.
Mr. D. Robert.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good evening. Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location?
All right. I'm the man calling from Port Harcourt.
London man, good to have you.
Thank you, my dear. Yes, about the proliferation of harm, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a welcome development if government can expedite action about towards controlling the small and whatever arms in the hands of the people. Because if people are allowed to be carrying arms, if it is being legalized, as a matter of fact, I don't know what would be the future of our society, the next society, the generation to come. I don't know how it will look like, because already, like you said on your studio there, that the thing is even rampant, is even common now. People carrying arms and killing anyhow, and without considering that they are killing people. So you made mention of the issue of Boko Haram and whatever. Apart from that, you see in various communities around us, you see how people are being killed with arms, and how did these arms get to them? That is the question. And you realize that in the local communities, some people who didn't even go to school, who didn't even acquire the knowledge of whatever from the Western education, they can fabricate arms in the local whatever, and by so doing they will want to try that.
All right, then let's have your. What's your conclusion?
So my conclusion is that our government should be responsive. They should be proactive towards making sure that this arms, holding of arms or commonizing arms in the hands of people is reduced.
All right, then, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, so do you think that the move or the way to tackle the proliferation of arms in the country, okay, is by a law? Do you think this law is really going to tackle the issue of insecurity, or do you think the law is the bill rather, do you think it's rather inconsequential? Like at this time that we are, people should rather be bearing arms, okay, to protect themselves. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening, Gloria.
Good evening. Turn down the volume of your listening device.
Okay.
Yeah, what's your name and location?
Dave Roberts.
Good evening to you. What's your name?
Good evening.
Yes.
I'm Comrade Kabari, calling from Banlepo in Ghana.
All right, you're welcome, Comrade Kabari.
Good to hear you.
I think proliferation of arms will be a good push. Okay? It will be a very good push.
You mean tackling the proliferation of arms?
Pardon?
You mean tackling the proliferation? The proliferation is the spread, okay? The spread of arms, the way it keeps going and getting into more hands. So tackling it is what we're talking about. It's not just the proliferation.
No, yes, tackling it is good. Okay? Tackling it is good, but then everybody needs to bear arms. We need to bear arms. You just heard it this morning on the news when federal government is telling you that they are backing people who are infringing on the rights of other people. Asking a farmer that does not even have 1,000 naira in his account to go to court. If cattle rearers that said he should allow cattle rearers to invade his land and eat up his crops, which is planned for survival. So if such people now come up and trying to restrict those cattle rearers, they will now murder the person. Then the person will now resurrect, go to court. Let me tell you, everybody should bear arms. So anybody will say, oh, no good, then stand up for anybody.
All right, then. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Comrade.
Hello, good evening.
Serious.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location?
All right, Jacob Promise from Rumodumaya.
All right, good to have you. Let's hear you.
Right, I think I am of the opinion that these arms should be legalized in Nigeria, my brother and my sister. If you check some countries, some countries, my dear, why you don't hear crime and so on, is because this other person knows too well that I am armed, I have arms, and you have arms. So
well, there are only 3 countries where arms are legalized.
Yes, there are. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And if you check, even in America,
the U.S. is one of the countries where arms are legalized.
Yes, and that's why you see there is a reduced risk or a crime rate in that country.
No,
everyone is aware that.
No.
It is not as it is in Nigeria.
Isn't it in the U.S. where you see people who walk into a street or into a shopping mall and randomly shoot people?
But you hear that once in a while, not frequently as it is in Nigeria. Not like every day you hear killings and this and that.
Do you know the statistics of people that die from street bullets in the U.S. alone?
That is what I'm saying. If it is once in a while we hear that. Not
you don't say once in a while. It's the ones it's just the ones you hear of, you know of. There are more other incidents that happen. Do you know how they engage in gun battle, just streets to streets?
My sister, to my own opinion, if it is legalized in Nigeria, it will reduce the rate of crime. Because you coming to my house, you won't be that bold. Like people, most of these bandits, when they are coming to invade a particular community, you see them as good because they know too well that people in that community are not armed. But if you know that I am armed or people in that community are armed, you will see them, they will not be as bold as they used to. Okay. You understand? It will reduce their boldness. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Gloria.
Yeah, good evening. What's your name and location?
Just 5 seconds, please. Comrade Kabari called back.
All right.
You say this bill. This bill is something, in fact, is one of the best bills ever in mankind. Yes. The bill in itself can even restore total peace, absolute peace on this earth.
But yet again, it's not just about the bill. It's about the effectiveness of that bill if passed into law.
Pardon, come again.
I said it's not just about the bill right now. It's about the effectiveness of that bill if passed into law.
Yes. Effectiveness. And you know what? If it is being passed into law and it is being signed by the president, what effectiveness do we need? I want the arms. Okay? And such off-thought builds made this money by the government of Federal Republic of Nigeria.
that if you think your right has been infringed by the cattle header, you should go to court. What? No.
All right, then.
Please.
Thank you very much. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. What's your name and location?
This is Mr. Marcos from Memolini.
Good to have you, Mr. Marcos. What's your opinion on this matter?
Thank you. I want to tell you, I'm not happy with the whole thing this evening. You've taken out 42 minutes and leaving 18 minutes for thousands of people listening to you. What do you want us to say? Yes or no?
Apologies, Mr. Marcos. We had some programs infringing into our time. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh. Really, apologies. We really apologize. We will make it up to you, okay, tomorrow and other days. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Yeah, what's your name and location?
Yeah, Desire from Port Harcourt.
Good to have you, Desire. Let's hear your opinion.
I'm not saying that they should not legalize gun in Nigeria, but have you heard of Jeff Chappelle?
What?
Have you heard of this name, Jeff Chappelle? He's an African American.
Okay. Go ahead.
So this man said that gun control. Oh, excuse me, my crazy daughter. I'll call you back.
All right then. Hello, good evening. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, what's your name and location?
The situation concerning this proliferation of arms, and it's being used as weapons to attack people. We have to look at it from the force pushing the people. If you see, in the last 20 years or so, the government, the state government in the mostly the concerned area have neglected the youth. And the youth, somebody who was 5 years, in the last 20 years, is now 25 years. You can see, when the person has been neglected, when you go to North, we have more than 50 million youths neglected that are deep in hard drugs. Different kinds of drugs. So these people now, they are hearing government collecting money from central banks, billions and billions, distributing it to farmers, and nobody's taking care of them. They are no school, no nothing. So they grow up to be bandits. There's nothing they will be. And they need this money. They say all these people having this money, politicians mentioning billions and billions, and nothing is controlling them. So, and they have been taking drugs all this while, so their mind is strong. What the government needs to control, why they are controlling the arms, small arms or whatever, they need to control these hard drugs in the country. That is the background of all these problems. And not only that, they have to provide for the youth when they were very, very young.
Provide for the youth.
Out of arms. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. All right then, because of time. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, what's your name and location?
I am Congo, calling from Ako Cabinet here.
Mr. Congo, good to have you.
Thank you. See, my sister and my brother, let me tell you. The duty of any bill passed into law is popular participation. And if it is not done this way, it's wrong. Proliferation of arms in Nigeria, for me, it is not ideal because we have not developed up to the extent of doing that. Why? Because if it is done in Nigeria now, we will use it on our enemy, not even in the right way.
If what is done, you mean everyone bearing arms?
Did you say so? In Nigeria, yeah, we should not bear arms because we will not use it in the right way. As personally come to say, proliferation of arms in Nigeria should not be allowed. If it is allowed, it will become worse. Are you getting me? So that's why I told you earlier that the proper participation of any constitution goes along with the right way for any constitution to be carried out. As a result of that, arms It will not be used in Nigeria anyhow, because if we do it, we will not be safe. It has not been done in that way, and look at what is happening now. Why should we allow that? Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Congo. I'm sorry. This is where I draw the curtain for the conversation tonight. I really apologize for the time we took to talk before we opened the phone lines. We had some programs eating into our time. I really, really apologize. Tomorrow we will open the phone lines really early. I mean, as it always been. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Gloria T. I was on the program with Dave Roberts. Join us again tomorrow, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. as we bring another great conversation your way. Don't go anywhere. The world news comes up after now. Keep the dials locked.
This is Today 95.1 FM. To copy this tune, press 9.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Very good evening to you. This is the World News on your premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM. I am Gloria Caribbean. We start with the headlines. Supreme Court reserves judgment on suit between federal government and 30 states in Nigeria. Governors of South region resolved to join in suit challenging collection of VAT by states. Farmers protest against activities of herdsmen in Ogba Ekmemandoni local government area of River State. On the foreign scene, Ethiopian president vows to defend his country's honor despite global criticisms. Now the details. President Muhammadu Buhari has called for peace and stability in Ethiopia and amid the many challenges facing the East African country. Buhari made the call at the inauguration of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for a second 5-year term in office, pledging that Nigeria would continue to support the unity and territorial integrity of Ethiopia. The president told the newly inaugurated Prime Minister that Nigeria, like many countries, was counting on his leadership to unleash the great economic potentials of Ethiopia by expanding investment opportunities, deepening relations, and building trust at home and abroad. He also commended the courage and commitment of the people of Ethiopia to the values and principles of democracy on the elections that brought the 2019 Nobel Peace Laureate back to power. The president of Uganda, South Sudan, Djibouti, Senegal, Kenya, Somalia, and the Prime Minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo attended the event. The Supreme Council has reserved judgment in the suit filed against the federal government by the 36 state governments over the funding of Superior Court created by Section 6 of the Constitution. The state in the suit want the Apex Court to hold, among others, that it is the responsibility of the federal government to bear both the recurrent and capital expenditures. They also want the court to void the Executive Order 10 issued by President Muhammadu Buhari in 2020 on the funding of the judiciary, particularly at the state level. A 7-member panel of the Supreme Court, led by Justice Musa Datijo Muhammad, after listening to arguments from lawyers to the parties, said they would be informed when the judgment is ready. A federal high court in Abuja has dismissed the application filed by Senator Ali Ndume seeking an order to discharge him as Abdurrashid Minor 30 after he jumped bail. Justice Okon Abang, in a ruling, held that the application filed by Ndume amounted to an abuse of court process, having filed an appeal before the Court of Appeal on the same matter. You may recall that Minor, the former chairman of the defunct Pension Reform Task Team, had around September 2020 jumped bail after he was released from the Kuje Correctional Service Center on July 27, 9 months after he was arraigned. He was, however, rearrested in Niger Republic, where he was alleged to have fled by security forces and produced in court on December 4th, 2020. Justice Abang, who said he had considered the argument of both parties in the suit, held that he had no jurisdiction to entertain the lawmaker's application dated December 15, 2020. Former Governor of Kano State, Ibrahim Shekaro, has asked the southern governors to stop ganging up and issuing threats to get the 2023 presidential slot. Shekaro, who made the call while featuring on a live television program, said it was very unfortunate that the issue of zoning has degenerated to a point where democracy has been reduced to what he described as a regional gang-up. He also called on the southern governors to desist from instigating other groups in the country from making similar demands that would heat up the polity. The senator, however, agreed that the successor of President Muhammadu Buhari should come from the southern region of the country to give a sense of belonging to every Nigerian. He also noted that the APC should zone its presidential ticket to a capable and credible candidate in the south in the next election. Governors of the South have resolved that states in the region should join the suit filed by the Federal Inland Revenue Service challenging the collection of value-added tax by states. This formed part of the resolutions reached at the meeting of the South-South Governors Forum held at the Government House in Port Harcourt. Delta State Governor and Chairman of the forum, Ifeanyi Okowa, who disclosed this while briefing reporters at the end of the closed-door meeting, said the governors also resolved to approve the establishment of a regional security outfit to be launched very soon. The governors appealed to the National Assembly to immediately review and amend sections of the recently enacted Petroleum Industrial Act. The forum, while calling on President Muhammadu Buhari to respect the law establishing the Niger Delta Development Commission by appointing a substantive board, demanded that the report of the forensic audit of the agency recently submitted to the president be made public.
We approve the regional security architecture, which will be launched very soon. 2. Unequivocally supports the decision for states to collect value-added tax and resolve to join the suit before the Supreme Court. Council urged the President and the National Assembly to take necessary measures to review some unfair aspects of the recently signed Petroleum Industry Bill now Act to ensure fairness and equity, or that the amendment should include a clear definition of host communities and that the trustees should be appointed by state government. Council called upon the President and the federal government to uphold the law establishing the Niger Delta Development Commission by appropriately constituting its board. In addition, they expressed the hope that the federal government would make the forensic audit report public and deal justly and fairly with the report with a view to strengthening the capacity of NDDC to meet its obligation to the people of the region.
Cross River State Governor Ben Ayade was the only governor absent at the meeting. The expatriate working on the Trans-Kalabari Road, who was kidnapped along the Emoha-Kalabari Road, has been released. The chairman of Akuku Toro local government area, Roland Sekibo, disclosed this shortly after a security meeting with the chairman of Emoha, Dekema and Asari Toro local government areas, where the called for collaboration in the fight against insecurity. Sekibo revealed that the collaboration of the council areas has produced positive results, also advised chairman of neighboring local government areas to work together. Roland Sekibo also listed bad roads as one of the challenges enhancing insecurity in the area.
Well, it's about collaboration, it's about synergy to provide security on the Emoa Kalabari Road. This meeting has started some time ago. The inaugural one was held in Emoa and followed up in Agutari local government. How we can come up with very good security outfits on that road. Well, you know that in every problem, the solution is the nature of the problem. So we looked at it, there are a lot of things that causes the insecurity, like even the road. Like last time we talked about the deplorable state of the road. We have looked at it. We also have looked at the butchers that are taking over the shoulders of the road. We also have looked at the inadequate manpower in terms of the conventional security agencies. This collaboration, this energy is yielding fruits because as we speak to you, by the grace of God, to the expertise that was kidnapped has been released because of the pressures that are coming from this collaboration.
Ankolo Security Planning Advisory Committee in Obiakwa local government area of River State has apprehended 7 tricycle riders for alleged theft and insecurity in the community. General Commander of the security outfit, Wenenda Orubogo, who made this known in an interview with Today FM's Sandra Kenneth, said they were apprehended by 2 a.m. today on their way back from an operation. Wenenda frowned at the activities of tricyclists, popularly known as keke riders, stressing that they use their tricycle to commit all kinds of crime in the area.
And we searched them. We saw empty cartridge inside the vehicle, inside the keke. So we apprehended them, asking them where they got the cartridge from, They are unable to explain better. And we saw a knife, and razor blade, which they used to attack their victims. So many, they have been using keke to rob people several times. We have been getting information about robbery from keke drivers and criminals using keke to rob. That Olu houses, the junction houses is very, very, very bad at night. 10 o'clock, you cannot move freely there. But right now, since us park is in place in Mbolu, now we have bring peace to that place. Now you can walk freely there at night because our men is there always. We are really pleading to the people in our community to assist us with information.
Today FM reports that the Today FM reports that the OSPARC recovered some cartridges, generator, car batteries and television from the 7 persons that were arrested. Some farmers, mostly women from Ogba Igbima Ndoni local government area of River State, today protested the council secretariat to register their displeasure over the activities of herders in the area. The aggrieved farmers say their farm produced are being destroyed by cows. The aggrieved farmers say the farm produce are being destroyed by cows in the area. The women, numbering about 30 from different communities in the local government, want the government to urgently intervene to put a stop to the action of the herders. Recall that the River State Governor Nyesom Wike on the 19th of August signed into the law the bill banning open grazing in the state. The people of Andoni local government area of River State have continued to suffer the lack of medical care over 1 year after the Andoni General Hospital was shut down. Today FM's Chinedu Iwuna reports that the General Hospital was shut down last year after gunmen attacked the medical facility. Since then, the people had resorted to roadside medical services or have been forced to seek medical care in other local government areas. The Community Development Committee chairman of Ngo community in the local government, Clement, explained that they have lost a lot of lives following the lack of medical facility in the local government. Clement, however, disclosed that they have secured an assurance from the River State government that the hospital will be revived soon.
We have no place than to go to the roadside, or if there is emergency, the person will die. Because you cannot get to Bori immediately. You must try to get to Bori, and that will take you about 1 hour. And for those people that cannot afford, more especially the transport aspect of getting to Bori or talk much of starting is a problem. So we have been saved by the mercies of God all this while. Though we have lost so many people as a result of not having the general hospital. One of those things I see, the people that are coming to clear the place has actually comes to me that they are the ones to clear. And even the ministry have sent people to come and check 1 or 2 things they will put in place before the place kickstarts.
A River State High Court sitting in Port Harcourt will on 24th of November 2021 deliver judgment on the matter between one Christian Lily Onoha family in Ubima against Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Christian Lily, who is a consultant to the Onoha family, had filed a fundamental right action against the EFCC over alleged harassment following a petition by a family member and requested that the EFCC be restrained from inviting or arresting him, which the court granted before going ahead to hear on the substantive matter. Members of the family in Ubima had also joined in the suit and informed the court that they never complained of missing money and that they never instructed anyone from the family to file suit on their behalf, and asked the court to grant all the relief sought by the claimant. When the matter resumed in court today, counsel representing the various parties adopted their processes. Presiding Judge Justice Adolphus Nebeli, after hearing the counsels to the parties, adjourned till 24th of November 2021 for judgment. You are listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news, foreign and sports stories. Stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
A warm welcome back. The time is 14 minutes past 10. The National Association of Resident Doctors has directed its members across the country to resume work fully from Wednesday. President of the association, Dare Ishaya, announced this while briefing newsmen in Abuja following the suspension of the strike by resident doctors, which lasted 2 months. He explained that the association took the decision to suspend the industrial action due to a simple majority vote of members at a meeting held yesterday. Ishaya, however, stated that the strike has been suspended for 6 weeks to allow the federal government to address the issues raised by the doctors.
The intervention of His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Vice President, the Honorable Minister for Labor and Employment, NEC resolved by vote of a simple majority to suspend the total and indefinite strike action embarked upon on 2nd August 2021. Therefore, our members will resume full work on Wednesday, 6 October 2021 by 8 a.m. The NEC urged the federal government to reciprocate the good faith and trust shown by the association by ensuring the following: continuous processing and payment of the ongoing 2021 and 2020 medical residency training fund. If after that 6 weeks there is no meaningful progress, we still have to revert back to the National Executive Council.
The National Bureau of Statistics says about 31.7% of youths in Nigeria lack access to bank loans to finance their businesses due to high interest rates. The Bureau said this in its National Youth Survey for 2020, which it posted on its website. It said stringent bank policies, government policies, and other measures adopted by banking institutions make it difficult for youths to finance their businesses through bank loans. The NBS, however, explained that for those that had access to bank loans, 55.1% female youths had access than their male counterpart, put at 44.9%. It said the report is a collaborative effort between the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development and the NBS. Facebook-owned services, WhatsApp and Instagram were down to leaving some 3 billion online users, frustrated and unable to connect all over the world. The social tools, including Facebook's own messenger service, were first reported as not being available from 4 p.m. WhatsApp has, however, assured that it was working hard to fix the issue. On the foreign scene, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has vowed to stand strong and defend Ethiopia's honor despite mounting global criticism over the war in Tigray, as he was sworn in for a new 5-year term today. Abiy's Prosperity Party scored a landslide win in June elections that federal officials touted as the high watermark of democratic reforms he initiated upon taking office in 2018. Yet, by the time voters cast their ballot, tens of thousands had been killed in the conflict in the northern Tigray region and hundreds of thousands faced famine-like conditions. Abiy's government has faced withering criticism over the conflict, notably from Washington, a long-time ally with President Joe Biden, signing an executive order allowing for sanctions against the warring parties if they fail to commit to a negotiated settlement. News from United States says the U.S. President Joe Biden offered his congratulations to Japan's new Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, saying their historic partnership between the two nations will help them face the world's ongoing challenges. He said the U.S.-Japan alliance is the cornerstone of peace, security, and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific and the world. Biden said that he looked forward to work closely with Prime Minister Kishida to strengthen the cooperation in the months and years ahead in a statement. News and Sports said Watford have appointed Claudio Ranieri as their new manager after sacking Cisco Munoz. The Italian returns to the Premier League, which he famously won with Leicester in 2015 to 2016, having left Serie A side Sampdoria in the summer. It is the 14th managerial change under Watford's owners, the Bozo family, since they took over in 2012. In entertainment, first runner-up for the Big Brother Niger Season 6, Lick Rose has requested funds to disregard viral GoFundMe link set up in her name. In a tweet by her Twitter handler, it was stated that the link, which set a goal of £50,000, did not originate from the team. The GoFundMe link has since been taken down by its creator. That's it on the World News at 10 p.m. on Today 95.1 FM Port Harcourt. To end the news, here are the stories that made the headlines. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment on the suit between the federal government and the 30 states in Nigeria. Governors of the South-South region have resolved to join in the suit challenging the collection of VAT by state governments. We also told you that farmers have staged a protest against the activities of herdsmen in Ogbaigbe Mandoni local government area of River State. On the foreign scene, you heard that Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has vowed to defend his country's honor despite global criticisms. That was the news as edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 0818 389 2850 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. Do not forget, always take responsibility, wash your hands frequently with soap and running water. Avoid touching your face and high contact surfaces to prevent coronavirus. I am Gloria. Carry me, Tom Break. Good evening and many thanks for listening.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
When the weather becomes strict and everything becomes unsteady, the only way to go is tune to Today 95.1 FM and the world of information, entertainment, and education will be served as breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Welcome to the show. You're listening to today's Quest. A newspaper review segment is what we've got.
Now who says I can't bring the party to your house right now? Because, even if it's raining, I still bring the heat right here.
I am here for you, and I know you are here for me.
It is surely the best 15 minutes of football you can find anywhere on radio.
Back here in the Garden City of Port Harcourt. Today, 95.1 FM. Nothing but the best. Nothing but the best.
You can never plan the future but the past. He who has a right to live can bear almost anyhow. Lost time is never found again. It is the province of knowledge to speak, and it is the privilege of wisdom to listen. I don't take life too seriously. You'll never get out of it alive. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. In the end. It is not the years in your life that counts. It is the life in your years. Make it count with us. Make it count with us at Today 95.1 FM. 95.1 FM.
I am a proud Nigerian. I have been placed here by God for a time such as this.
The degradation, challenges, and problems faced by Nigeria are the perfect backdrop for me to develop and utilize my God-given potential.
I will not complain. I will not criticize. Rather, I will use my skills, gifts, relationships,
and experience to find long-lasting and revolutionary solutions to the many challenges confronting Nigeria.
Nigeria will rise again.
Because I am here, I will leave this nation
a better place than I met it. I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth.
I will work to make Nigeria a praise on the earth. So help me God.
Let me tell you how I got this far.
This message is brought to you by Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People.
Officer, take. Officer, give me number. No time. Ma dey match am, they go.
What? You bribing the officer of the law? You under arrest. Let me see your papers. You can go. They're in order. Drive safe, okay?
I don't understand though. No be the same country again. Officer reject bribe. They arrested me yesterday. That yesterday, I go do my papers. See as I pass now. I pass without fear. You too, make you do wetin dey right. For we country to better, it dey for we hand. If you like, do like say you no hear am. To give or to take bribe, na offense.
Una don hear am, abi? You hear am too, abi? You hear am. You hear am well. They themselves, they hear am. Now the voice of the people. Now him bring this message give me. Today 95.1 FM. Now we be the voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
FM, Voice of the People.
And we're back.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
My pikin, how are you this morning?
I'm fine, sir.
You dey go school?
Yes, sir.
Make sure say you read.
Madam, please, can I have one small juice and 2 biscuits there? Please be fast.
Girl, customer, bear no vex. I dey come, make her bring them.
No,
you're late. You're late already.
Plantain, buy plantain.
See as this small girl dey cross this busy road anyhow.
Sweet plantain.
So, your mama no know say you too young to dey hawk?
Now one for the mama. Oh, I beg come on for it, make I cross road.
Made in China.
Oh, buy your plantain.
Leave the road.
The fact that you're not financially buoyant doesn't mean that you should abuse your child. Most times, these children don't have the capacity or knowledge to carry on these tasks. Education, they say, is an important aspect in a child's life. So do well not to take away that opportunity from them, as it will affect them later in the future. Remember that giving out your child for early marriage could also affect the child's life. So stop child trafficking. Avoid sending them out in the name of making money, because the children today are the leaders of tomorrow. Don't ruin their future with your ignorance. Say no today to child abuse. Say no today to child trafficking. Say no today to child marriage. This message is brought to you by Today95.1 FM.
We are the future. We are the dream. We are the nation. We are part of this. Yes, we are so amazing. That's the least we shall be.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. This is Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt, voice of the people.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM. Radio has never been this good. Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.